10 seconds left. I spill my drink. That's awesome. It's because I'm so skilled. Hi. I spilled my drink. It's a great day already.
He did. Just before.
Like just before the stream started. Oh man. This is I can tell this is going to work out to be a great, wonderful, very informative, super awesome stream that everybody around the world will want to see because Brian's entertainment value is worth more.
Is it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. What are we, 73 weeks into this? Something like that?
73 episodes, yes.
And we still don't get paid.
Can you believe that?
But we're still here.
We get paid $2.43.
Yeah, I think that's my electric bill for one stream. So we've got a lot to talk about today. We always start out looking at this, our super cool, awesome, amazing, never fail, always right, never wrong portfolio. And anytime we're wrong, it's Brian's fault. And we are up 240%. This percentage should drop after a few years, but I shared a link. Did you read the Kathy Woods thing?
I did not read it. No.
Okay, we're gonna have to read that in the stream because I'm not gonna lie, I read her returns since 2020 until today, and I got kind of mad. She has a total negative return annualized of negative 7% per year. If you look at ours, we are over 20% without including dividends annualized every year. So she losing money and gets all the attention in the world. We making tons of money and we're not getting any attention. So I don't get it.
She plays with more money.
Yeah, well, the percentages don't lie. That's just me. So now we're up to $60,000 pure profit. So I'm waiting for the market to crash and bring me back down to reality, whatever reality is, reality. But it is what it is. So we have, how do we start? So today we've got U.S. debt topping 40 trillion. We've got Fox News' take on 40 trillion. We've got Yahoo and 24/7 Wall Street talking about Intel. We have the Kathy Woods thing I talked about. Kathy Woods has got a thing. Brian's here in person, by the way. I can touch him. See?
Ouch, quit it. Ouch, quit it. Ouch, quit it.
He's
Ouch,
real.
That's my Simpsons quote for the day.
Yeah, so we have robots are asking for tips. I'm so conflicted about that one because what if they take over?
Yeah.
Anyways, so we got that. We got Portland parents fighting for child's elementary school over the final straw of adding inclusive flags. That's
there's a fight within the Democratic Party right now.
Yes, there is.
They are split.
We got U.S. government debt yields are surging at a bad time. The reason is we need more buyers. Although I did see buyers show up for bonds like today, yesterday. They started showing up, so be interesting to look at that. As far as the economy goes, we also have this labor share of economic pie plummets to the record low as AI threat looms. That's not apocalyptic at all. So because it is, I'm interested in it. So we're going to read that one. That one's kind of interesting. We have a few stocks to look at today, and we have another apocalyptic chart that says, hey, PE ratio. I think this is the Shillings. Yeah, Schiller price to earnings ratio. Showing it super high. Not quite as bad as the dot-com bubble, but
it's reaching it, though.
It's getting there. It's getting there. So we're getting close. Now notice, no, we'll talk about this later. So Harvard, remember we talked about how big corporate America is sponsored by education, and education sponsors big corporate America, and that plays a part into the government, where government debt gets issued. Well, here's some evidence of that. We got Harvard makes a massive $2.2 billion bet on SpaceX, just a small amount of money, pocket change for these guys. And then we also have, like I said, our portfolio to actually look at. So this portfolio was based on a $400 a month average household disposable income left over. I actually think it's closer to around $530 a month. Don't quote me on that. We'll have to get some numbers just to make sure. We started from zero just over 4 years ago. I think 52 months ago. What are we at?
I don't know.
It's about 50 months.
Yeah.
Something like that. So we started from
We
zero.
haven't been
built
really
it up.
doing those videos, so I haven't been counting it.
Yeah, we probably, at some point, if we ever get paid for this, we're going to bring all that back.
This is so much quicker to do.
Yes. So last week we started doing some deep dives into some stocks. I don't know if we're going to do a bunch of deep dives, but as far as the companies that we've picked in our portfolio, Intel, if you're new to the stream, we sold a whole bunch of them back when they were up 500%. We kept only $2,000 of that, and then we bought a whole bunch of other stocks. Of some of the stocks that we bought, United Health was one of them, and they are finally starting to pop. I like that because every time I buy a stock, Brian says, Tom, you're negative. You get all upset when they go up. So this is one time I'm happy. Why? I put a lot of money into them personally. So
We've made money.
I got the clock right. I got the timing right. And usually it like Rumble has been going up. I'm kind of upset by that because I wanted to add more to them. And they went from negative 20% to up 37%, which, great for them. But yeah, no, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. It's too soon.
So basically, they went from $5.50 to $9.
Yeah.
It's like $6 to $9. So they went up quite a bit.
I'm sure
relatively.
when I'm worth more than like 2 pennies, it'll probably be, I won't care as much. But for right now, every penny matters. So.
No, they don't. They're discontinuing it.
Yeah, you collect your pennies. Collect your pennies. But like right now, what we're looking at, 3M has just been doing really well again.
Pop.
Got to reevaluate them. Not because I think they're a bad company, but I'm not sure they're worth that kind of a gain in that short of a period. The one that is starting to look pretty good to us, which I might be late to the party, hopefully not, is Campbell's Soup. They're starting to recover. So Kimberly-Clark's another one. The problem we have with our portfolio here is, again, if you look at our returns, they're amazing. But every time it gets up really high like this, I get very skeptical of the continued performance, just in case.
Yeah. That and our cost basis is already up towards our upper end. So we can't throw a whole bunch of money into it.
So everything here, just about everything. In fact, if you go down the list, you'll notice that almost all of them, except for like Deckers, they all pay dividends. There's only a few that do not. So even if it shows that we're not making money, like let's take this, Procter and Gamble, because, rubber gloves and bending over are perfect for this conversation point. They pay a 3% dividend, and that's a qualified dividend. So when you get your profit sharing check, if you just take that into account, that actually overcomes the loss. And every year you hold them, that still overcomes the loss. So even if this one never goes up, stays negative, we're still making money.
Yep.
So that's a different conversation. That's why when we get into like the performance of our portfolio, which apparently is astronomically good, that's where I say, okay, this is fine, but that's not the true story. This is more of the story of what happens. So about more than 1/3 of our portfolio is pure profit right now.
Which is very good.
XYL. Is XYL on sale? That's a good question. I don't know. We have them. We probably should be looking at them too. XYL is there. So we bought them. When did we buy them? It was May? We bought them in May, April, maybe May. So take a look at them.
That's a good question. That's a good question, Tom.
That's a long-term utility water kind of company. So I would say let's check to see before I just say, oh yeah, they're on sale or they're not what we're looking for. But I think as far as XYL is concerned, that's another long-term play. They pay a small dividend, but their payout for that is just super, super small. So I'd assume that they're going to be around for a long, long time as far as profit goes. As far as whether or not they're on sale, if their earnings are the same, I could take a look. Why not? Let's take a look. We bought them. When is that? It was May. Okay, so we bought them March, May, and June. I would assume that if their earnings aren't any different, I would assume that just maybe not on sale, but the value proposition is probably pretty good for them still.
There's one in Holland.
Is there?
Yeah.
Really?
I drove by it. It's like, oh, XYL.
I didn't know that. It's kind of funny, like you buy a car and you see them on the road and like you didn't notice them until you bought the car. Yep. It's like, oh, there's a lot of these. We have to make a stock purchase. We're not going to do it probably on the stream, but we'll do it and then we'll talk about it next week. But a lot of the things that we looked at last week to this week, what we're trying to do is we're trying to build up this. And this is this investment income that happens passively. We're at $381.35. Something cut us by 70 cents. But that's actually, nobody cut the dividends. So I think this is just a timing thing. It'll go up based on what we see next week because you'll have this large number on this side of the table. But this income that shows up here, we get this every single month, whether the market crashes or not. And if you looked at the stocks in the portfolio, you know that that's pretty true. If you don't have toilet paper, Campbell's soup, or any of the normal things that people use every single day, we're in trouble. And that's what most of the stocks in this portfolio show. So with that, I want to talk about Cathie Wood's a little bit. So we have this thing here. Cathie Wood buys, and I'm going to rag on her a little bit, but not her. I'm going to rag on the industry a little bit. So she's buying, so Cathie Wood's head of ARK Investment Management often makes moves in her favorite tech stocks around earnings season. This time she's buying NVIDIA, adding 22.3 million worth of shares. It's a lot. Just before the quarterly earnings report. So she does flagship ARK Innovations ETF, which, whoa.
Things are happening.
Things are happening. Hang on a minute. I got to probably change that. I forgot one thing. This one neat trick.
You didn't mute your phone. That's an amateur mistake, Tom.
One of many. So anyway, she manages the ARK Innovation ETF. So last year it gained 35%. So take my criticism with a grain of salt. But look at if you look at her long-term performance, this is where I really get like nerd ragey. So those swings, she has huge, massive swings. So like when she started it, she had this massive gain. Then she had some losses. But if you look at those weighed on her long-term gains, as of August 18, her innovation ETF has delivered a 5-year annualized return of negative 7.18%.
Slow clap for Cathie.
I hope that's not us one day. That's the first thought. It's like, man, I hope that's not us. But that I can't.
But that's a 5-year analyzed return. I can't anticipate us doing that for 5 years consecutively.
How can you? I mean, think about that. You have $100,000 one year. Next year you've got $93,000. Next year you've got $89,000. Next year you've got $86,000. Like it just keeps going down.
Or it could be one year you got $100,000. Next year you got $112,000. The next year you got $98,000. The next year you got $88,000. Next year, it could go up and down for 5 years and end up at negative 7.18.
Kind of like an old man's libido.
Yeah.
Good grief.
His prostate.
This is not. When we talk about making sure you have stability, this is not what I would consider stable. That number, what'd she say, 35% that she made? Yeah. So like in 1 year, that is amazing. But you can't use that as a baseline metric for if you were going to ever spend this money, if you were ever going to use it as like a way to survive from like a monthly basis where it's a paycheck. You can't live like this. You need something more like this. If you go into ours and you look at this, you need more of the stable thing. So sure, she can have incredible returns 1 year, but over the long haul, it's not, it's not stress reducing. Put it that way. It's a bad way to go if you want to make sure that you're going to be fine in retirement. So I would much rather have this annualized number than hers. That's just me. At negative 7%. Why? That's the thing that gets me nerd ragey. sure, she moves a lot of money, but that's an awful reputation. Like I don't ever want to. So here's the challenge to everybody here. If we're making stock decisions that look absolutely stupid, call us out. Tell me, hey, I missed this thing. Say, I don't think I would buy this stock for this reason. Or Tom, I think you're an egotistical maniac who loves to just hear him self-talk.
You can't say egotistical.
No, I can't, because I'm not egotistical enough to say egotistical. But like,
I don't even know the definition of the word.
I'm so good, I don't know how to say it.
I'm so non-egotistical, I don't even know it.
That's right. Nobody does egos like Tom does egos.
Except for Trump.
Oh, I'm better than Trump.
I think he's got the bigger ego.
His stock returns are probably better than mine. He might be better than me. But this, I can't imagine why. Maybe just because so many people gave her money that they don't want to lose. Like, a quick advertise for her. Maybe people will give her more money. I don't. And I'm not gonna lie that the first year that she did this, that's great. Good for her. But the annualized number, I want to see that get better before
her total assets are $6.41 billion.
That's small for an ETF.
But if you gave us $6.41 billion, imagine the things we could do with that.
The funny thing is like the companies that we buy, and you look at that, they can actually absorb that. Maybe Rumble can't, but what is Rumble's market cap? I don't think they could afford that. What they do with all that money? Yeah, so they're we give them $1 billion as 25% of their market cap. You have to you have to like
spread that out. You
got to tell the SEC you're doing that, because that's a lot. But when you look at like these other positions, like Fastenal, I'll just give them. I pick on them a lot, but that wouldn't really materially move them too much. Now the order itself would. We actually showed that in Thinkorswim. Where like the big orders come in and people notice that, the day traders notice that. But if you hold on to these companies for more than a year, that matters very little. Maybe on a day-to-day basis it would, but a lot of these companies can take a managed ETF when you throw a bunch of money at them just fine. Even our worst performer, if you look at Campbell's Soup, they still have a market cap of, well, it's actually Rumble's creeping up on them, of about $7 billion. So giving them like $10-20 million isn't going to move the needle very much.
And if you look at what ARK has, ARK K, they're very tech heavy. I mean, her greatest assets are Tesla and SpaceX are her top two. So she's a Elon Musk fan. Tempest AI, Circle Internet Group. We've got therapeutics, Shopify, Coinbase, Twist Bioscience, Robinhood, Palantir. So it's very health and technical.
And Big
technology.
Brother, she's got Palantir stock.
AMD, semiconductors, you got CoreWeave, internet, Amazon.
She has the whole internet?
She's got the whole internet.
The whole internet.
No, CoreWeave is the internet services. NVIDIA. So, like, all of her top ones are either some sort of technology-based internet, computer, or biohealth.
The thing that worries me about that is AI is a bubble. We are in bubble territory right now. So go for it. Buy your stock. You can talk about so yeah, she talked about a little bit about this, but the article says this here. The weakness reflects investors' growing concerns about whether or not NVIDIA can sustain its rapid growth. Some hyperscale cloud providers are developing their own custom AI chips, while Wall Street questions whether hundreds of billions of dollars in AI infrastructure spending will ultimately generate returns. Maybe not for the companies, but probably for XYL. So we should probably look at some news with them because Matthew told us to.
Spartacus is on.
Hey, Spartacus. XYL stock. I'm missing the X. Investor relations. Let's go look and see what they have. Because somebody said that. Investors. Xylem. Investor Day. Ooh, that's what day is that? May 30th. Oh, we're late. 2024. We're 2 years late.
They haven't had one since?
Don't tell them how bad we're really doing. No, I think we're about Xylem. There we go. About Xylem. Where was this last time we were here? Do you remember? Investors? Something like that?
Investors.
Reports, press releases. Yeah, okay. Well, they had one. They have a CFO.
August 18th, 2026.
They have a dividend. They have second quarter. That was actually not that long ago. Okay, fine. Let's look at this.
You know, this is the reason, like one of the only reasons that this big monitor you got, this TV, doesn't really work for this.
Why?
Because you got the camera in the middle of the damn TV.
Well, I just can hack the one that's in the TV that watches you pick your nose while you play video games in your underwear. So then, I mean, then you can use that for the stream. That doesn't block the screen.
But if you had 4 27-inch or 432s, then you could stick that right in the middle of those.
That's too much bezel for me. I can't handle the bezel.
Your OCD can't take it.
That's right. I cannot. It needs to be 4 of these. That would be a lot of real estate.
A very big bubble.
What would I do with it all? It's also 400 pounds on the desk. We'd be testing my desk engineering.
God, I don't. It might fit. You'd have to mount 2 on the wall somehow.
What do you think my wife would say?
You have to put up like some structure there across the supports.
No structure. They can't see this. We're actually staring at a Samsung Odyssey Arc, I think. So it's like a 55-inch monitor. It's massive. It's like the guys who have the pickup trucks with the big wheels that are jacked up. This is the way I compensate for things, even though nobody really ever sees it. What does that mean?
There's things going through my head that I probably shouldn't say. I'm filtering still.
You know, when I was at John's Controls, one of the guys that sat with me in my office was like, Tom, this is my business face. What does that mean? Well... Your business face.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the smile I put on for everybody else, so they don't know I'm crying a little inside.
Thanks. I'm glad you love me.
Dying from this corporate life.
We're so corporate here. All right, so EBITDA.
Plus Johnson Controls, man. It's corporate.
Yeah, that was
EBITDA.
corporate. So the EBITDA margin expected to approximately be 23.1 to 23. Okay, so that's this actually speaks well of them being on sale. So if they look at how much they've made per share, they went from 5.55 to 5.7. Okay, so if they said it was 5.35, let's go look at them. I know this is boring, deal with it.
We're going to talk about other things later.
Yeah, we'll talk about fun, exciting things like the fact that our children are going to have to mortgage their souls to pay for our country's national debt.
And the court slashed Alex Jones's settlement.
Did they?
Yeah, from 50 million down to 1.5.
Wait. Okay, hang on. I want you to say that. Say that this way.
Alex Jones has won a court case where they slashed his settlement from $50 million down to 1.5.
Is he even worth 1.5 now?
Now, no. Before, they could have gotten 1.5 out of him, but he went bankrupt. They bankrupted him.
I think he'll get it back.
Eventually, yeah.
But think about $50 billion. $50 billion.
Million.
Wasn't it billion? It was, like they wanted originally a couple $billion.
It was like 1.2 or 1.5 billion to begin with. And that got slashed because he couldn't pay that. There's no way he'd ever be able to pay that.
Who would pay that? Like, I mean, seriously.
That got appealed. And then it was 50 million due to damages that...
That's still insane.
Yeah, we could read the article. I got the article here. So...
Ooh, send it to me. We're going to read this article. Brian's squirreling me in the worst way.
It was due to... So the Texas Third Court unanimously ruled that Heslin and Lewis, the people who sued him, failed to show evidence of harassment exceeding the state's $750,000 damage cap.
Send it to me. Send it to me.
Validating defense attorney.
Send me. They want to see. Everybody wants to see.
Okay, fine.
See, those are when the words that he was going to say but didn't, like, kind of piled up in his mind, and they came out with the, yeah.
Then
it's called that word constipation for Brian.
And then Tom's tactic is just send it to me, 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 send it to me,
Dad,
until you finally send it to him. Shut up!
I watch Brian in his sleep.
There you go.
Let's see here.
It's from our friends at ground.news. Who doesn't pay us.
Proceed to my story. I'm proceeding.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. Now do Brian's sexy news voice.
Court slashes $50 million judgment against InfoWars Alex Jones over falsely calling school shootings a hoax. A Texas court reduced a $50 million judgment against InfoWars founder Alex Jones to $1.5 million, addressing his false claims that the 2012 Sandy Hook school shooting was a hoax. Plaintiffs Neil Heslin and Scarlett Lewis sued Jones after he falsely claimed the Newtown, Connecticut massacre, which killed their 6-year-old son, Jesse Lewis, was a government staged hoax. The Texas Third Court unanimously ruled that Heslin and Lewis failed to show evidence of harassment exceeding the state's $750,000 damage cap, validating defense attorney Andino Reynolds' post-trial prediction. A separate $1.4 billion judgment against Jones in Connecticut remains unaffected by this ruling, while Jones and his company, Free Speech Systems, continue navigating bankruptcy proceedings.
Okay, wait. So
$1.4 billion.
So that's still standing.
That still stands, yeah.
Wow. How do you even figure that out? Where do you even start?
It wasn't a $1.4 billion company to begin with.
No.
It was at the most, if they sold all the assets and all the potential earnings, it was $130 million.
Yeah, potential. They haven't even earned it yet.
Yeah. He's there's no way I could pay that back. In my entire lifetime.
Or his kids, or their kids.
I will never make that much money.
That is, okay, so from what I understand here, this is the lawsuit somewhere else being settled for less, but these other ones are still live and happening.
Right, because it was a Connecticut school, so it was a Connecticut court that ruled that.
How do you come up with that number?
1.4 billion.
Yeah, let's make an example of him. I never watched the guy. I mean, I never. The same thing with was it Charlie Kirk? I never really saw a lot of what he did until after what I was oh, he's normally pretty reasonable. Sometimes he's out there, but what? I guess this guy was pretty far right, wasn't he? Something like that.
Yeah, and some of his thinking, I guess he was far right.
Brian's no, he was off a cliff.
He's from Texas.
But this is I don't how do you come up with that number? How do you dictate the damage is worth this much money? This is what I think this is worth. I 1.4 billion. Well, I think I'm worth 1.4 billion, but my bank account says otherwise.
Well, here's the thing. It was 1.4 billion based on something he said. Not done. He didn't do anything. He said something.
So much for free speech.
Which hurt the feelings. Okay, there's maybe some libel there, right? Okay, you can't libel somebody, right? But 1.4 billion, they're trying to make an example. It's clear. There's no way around that. They were trying to make an example of him and trying to get something in the books to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Right? You can't say anything about the dead.
That's so...
He was wrong,
dumb.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, you're allowed to be wrong, but I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't agree with what he said, but I also don't agree that he should have been sued for that.
I should just go around suing everybody I know who says bad things about me. I'd be rich.
I think this sets up...
What? Why? Seriously.
This sets up the court system to be able to have us go around suing anybody for any type of conspiracy talk. 9/11, there's people who said 9/11 was an inside job. How the building was cut. It was thermite.
Building 7 when they said pull it.
Yeah. Building 7, they pulled it, so they already knew. It was already it takes time to put chargers in a building to pull it. So it was already set to go because they pulled it that day. It's they didn't go in and set all those charges that day. So anyway, there's a lot of conspiracy around that. So anybody saying anything like that with all those people dead should be able to sue and get money, right? So any of these things.
But from who?
From the people who said it.
Oh,
the loose change guys.
That's a lot of people.
Who made the documentary, yeah. Anybody.
That's a lot of people.
Spewing that. Or just go COVID. You could sue anybody over saying that ivermectin is a valid treatment for COVID.
Oh, Trump has. Well, has he been sued for that? Because he said that, didn't he? He also said people should drink bleach at one point too.
No, inject it into your. Can't we just inject bleach into your? That kills 99% of it. He was joking, but still.
Yeah, I watched him when he said that. I was like, wait a minute.
That was clearly a joke.
He's trolling them, and they took him seriously too. I was like, wait a minute, are you guys that dense that you don't get the joke? But he's the president. Yeah, he's also a human.
Yeah.
Like same thing with Biden. Oh, he's gone senile. Yeah, he's old.
Well, just like every comic out there who says anything funny about anything that's tragic, like sue them. You can sue them. They got money, right?
Backwards justice.
Yeah, that thing is dangerous. Very dangerous ruling.
It sets a precedent, which is wrong, in my opinion. So
that was a funny thing that I saw.
Back to XYL. That's quite the rabbit trail.
That was a
a good one.
A win for Alex Jones.
He still owes 1.4 billion. Yeah, I mean it's a win, but maybe if you can get the other win, he'll be able to come back and piss everyone off. We'll see.
Well, luckily InfoWars is on the hook for that, and not Alex Jones, but it's still going to come back on him somehow.
Still, yeah. So
anyway,
yeah,
we're still talking about XYL.
Yeah, I've been kind of thinking about them in the back of my mind because nothing Brian says matters to me because it's all about me. See, he wasn't even listening to me, so it's the same way with him. No, this is XYL. I think, if anything, if we look at this report and we go down and we look at their forward-looking statements. There we go. All right. So here's the thing with these guys. They, especially when you look at the revenue from their products and services, the only thing that dropped was the revenue from the services here as a little bit down, but the revenue from the products actually went up by quite a bit more than that. So I think, and the cost of the revenue is down. So yeah, I mean, as I look at it for us, if I was looking at this for like what we going to buy for this month's stock purchase, I kind of like what I see.
Matt says Palpatine said there were some very fine people on Hoth.
Yes, there were.
I think he's trolling the Trump quote. There's some very fine people on either side. For some reason, my Trump sounds more like George Bush. Why don't
you ever hear that from the left? Like you hear that from Romney and the others, and like most of the right leaners. Like, yeah, there's some people on the left, but then I never hear somebody on the left say, "Oh yeah, some of the people on the right can be nice people."
Nope.
It's always like they're the spawn of Satan.
They are all demons.
They must die. It's like, wow, you're out there a little bit, but no, I like so. XYL dropped 1.31. Their earnings went up by more than that. So I would say, yeah.
A little bit on sale.
Yeah, a little bit. That's a good find. I like that.
It was your find, wasn't it?
It was not my find. I was thinking about it, but at the same time I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know. Because those kinds of stocks, when you look at those, they don't do what Intel did, right? Intel went up 500%. I mean, this one is like, well, maybe it's on sale, maybe it's not. And usually the market prices in how expensive they are. Like Johnson & Johnson's that way. Most of these companies, like DuPont's another one, General Dynamics, like a lot of these companies that are, especially if you look at Pfizer and that, the market prices in quality companies pretty well as it sits. Fastenal is a perfect example of that. Chevron too. I know the oil, like what do you call it? What's going on in the Strait of Hormuz? That plays a part in the profits that they're making. But at the same time, like if you go back, because I bought a BMW from Chevron Profits a few years ago, and you can kind of see these little dips that come in every, I don't know, what is that, every year or so. You can see here, 138. It's very,
It's the ebb and flow.
Yeah, I've talked about the ebb and flow a few times, and this chart tells a little bit more. If you can buy them here, they drop down, they go up a little bit more than they were, and it just keeps happening every couple of years with them. And this one is, I mean, you can see they were going to correct, but then Hormuz was closed, and we've got this blockade, and now they're spiking. Which good time to sell, maybe not necessarily the best time to buy. So this is where, as I look at this stuff, finding one that's not priced in for sale, because the market is usually pretty good about like getting a fair price. It's not very often that you find one that's actually legitimately on sale. And if it is something like XYL where it's only a little tiny bit based on that. You're talking about a 6 or 7% difference from what the original price was, which is not as much. But if you're trying to like balance out your portfolio, that's not a bad thing to do. You're not going to get, like I said, the Kathy Woods, which she's at 35% over 1 year, but the annualized return, you're not going to get the 35% in 1 year, but you're going to probably more if you keep playing that card where you just check the little gains. You're going to get something like this, which between Kathy Woods negative 7%, our 20% over the course of 4 years in a row, more than 4 years in a row now, I'd rather take this. Because at least I know I'm going to get paid.
And it's predictable. I like predictable gains.
Yeah, so I like that. I can go with that. I think I could. I'm going to take a look. We're going to take a look deeper at that one. I want to see what that one is.
All right, so I think we need to address something.
Okay.
Spartacus says, I bought some from Bull, Bull. What do you think of them? Tom and I have a phantom lawyer that I don't think actually exists who says we are very close to doling out stock advice by giving what we think about stocks that come on the stream. So I think we need to figure out a different system than telling on the stream, what do you think of this stock? So
so I can't give personalized financial advice. I can give our opinions on it. So maybe what we'll do is, because like I can't pump a stock. I can't say, yes, buy this one today. There's a lot of people on YouTube that do that, and that can influence the market if you get big enough, if we have enough people watching, like, I don't know, 6 isn't going to do it.
No.
but like 600 or 6,000 might do something.
The gray area is we could look at it and say, yeah, we like the stock or we don't like the stock, which isn't necessarily telling you to buy or sell. But I think the better solution, we need to look at the legality of it, is to have you place your stocks that you're looking at in Kajabi so that we could look at it and then we could just do a due diligence. And it's not for it's for our portfolio then.
Yeah, so if we do due diligence on the stock and you see us add it to the portfolio after the fact, then, you can pretty much say that we think this is personally, we would think it's a pretty good deal for us. But, like, I can't give one-on-one stock advice to people. It's not something that they let you do. Even so, the weird thing is like, if we became licensed, said, oh yeah, Tom, this is like how you do this thing, you can do this. I could give personalized one-on-one advice. Then I could say, hey, this is what I would do if I were you. But then I can't actually stream it. It's a weird gray area. Like, you can't. I don't know how to. Here, like, I'll do. Hey, you can see my face. Hi. It's a weird gray area where you can't like. You can tell them the advice one-on-one, but then you can't talk about it before you buy it, which I don't get that. I mean, I get it from a perspective of, like, usually companies that issue shares of stock are trying to raise capital to grow their business, and they probably don't want people out there saying, hey, I think you're a terrible decision maker. You shouldn't do that. I mean, that's probably not good for them. Yeah. Or if you think like, oh, that's a bad company, we shouldn't buy this company, like, that's probably not good for them either. So, like, it's really nuanced. It's really weird. And the funny thing is, this attorney that Brian says is imaginary, there's a YouTuber, there's two of them, they're partners. Her mom is actually, her mom. No, let me say this right. There's a YouTuber
She's her own mom?
Yeah, there's a YouTuber out there that his mom that we know personally is one of the partners in the attorney office that I work with. She wants him to get out of crypto, but like, you know, what do I say? So she's trying to give him all this advice and he's like ignoring it. And she's basically like, they're both trying to tell me that, you know, Tom, you can give certain things, but it has to be after the fact. You can't give direct one-on-one advice, which I think this is why when you go into social media, you see a lot of like the Dave Ramseys and the Graham Steffens like, oh, just buy an index fund. Well, yeah, but then there's like Jim Cramer out there who actually does lightning rounds of stocks. Like, well, why does he exist? And he told me, well, he's got like NBC and huge companies backing him with armies of lawyers that can say these things. And you have Brian.
But he's also not talking about a stock for a particular person. He's just talking about stocks that he likes. Mm-hmm. And that's what people like Reddit and Seeking Alpha. I mean, they're full of people who are doing due diligence on stocks that they like. They're just not telling you to buy or not buy it. That's
where the gray area comes in, and where I actually get really confused. Like, so wait a minute. I can talk about it for me.
So we could talk about bull. We could talk about bull, but it has to be our idea.
That's a lot of bull.
So what you need to do, I think, is what we're going to have you do is put your ideas into Kajabi. So we're going to force you to use that.
Brian's like, pay me, please.
And then we could talk about it like it's our idea. And then you just kind of get it. But it won't be on stream like you telling us we doing it. So I don't know. We'll figure it out.
And
Spartacus says, I'm just looking for the unicorn you guys talked about last week.
Oh, there are so many unicorns. I'm a unicorn. Brian's a unicorn. Apparently people don't have the net worth at all today. So if you've got more than a positive net worth, you're a unicorn. Welcome to the world. If you have $1 to your name, you're a unicorn.
So there's our public service announcement for the day.
Yeah, I got to talk to him more because the weird thing is like I will tell him, he's like, hey, so what do you think about this stock, Tom? It's like, you just told me I can't tell you that. Like, why are you telling me? Why now you want my advice? Well, yeah, it's just one-on-one. A person says, well, how is that any different?
It's off the record. There's no actual paper trail to say that you actually did it. And if you're the lawyer and you're watching this stream or the video,
probably will.
Go ahead and email me so I know that you actually exist.
I sent a screenshot of emails. Brian's like, yeah, that's not real.
I know Tom's probably going to email me and pretend he's you. So I do exist. I am a person.
$3,000 of fees probably tell you that.
Unless I talk to you for free, you don't exist.
Yeah, so I think the industry, if anything, like if you're curious what the industry is like and why it's such a problem for the individual to get ahead, this should tell you a lot. This is why mutual funds exist the way they do. This is why things happen. Now, what I'm debating on is, do we take this and do we make it where like we are we become licensed? I take the tests again, 15 years later, and become a licensed advisor. So if we become the advisor, then like we can do one-on-one like calls with people and charge for those calls to give them direct advice so that you can get these awesome performance returns like we've had. But then if we do that, like there's a great restriction and like censorship that happens during the stream. So like right now we can be a little bit more free about what we talk about and how we talk about it. But I don't know where the gray area sits quite yet, so I'm working on that. But if we become licensed, like we can't talk about it at all during the stream unless it's our own ETF. So I looked at the cost of starting our own ETF. $2.5 million. It's a $2.5 million, which we could do, but we'd both be broke.
Right. We'll be banking on this thing to make our money back.
Yes. So not going to do that.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long game, and we've been around for 4 years. I don't think that's going to change. I don't think we're going anywhere. So, but you can follow us as we do this. You can see how we perform long term, and you can learn some things, hopefully, from us as we go about making our mistakes and making our profit along the way. At least I think. I think that's the plan. So, boy, that was a... Do we want to talk about this?
Robots. We always talk about robots. They're the future, man.
Should we
of man.
Tip these things? Here, give me your sexy Brian read on this.
Machines are sticking out their digital palms. Your reaction could help shape the future of the service industry. If you're not in the mood for slot machines at Las Vegas Venetian Hotel, you can find some entertainment at a bar called the Tipsy Robot. It has a kitschy gimmick, 2 robot arms that make automated cocktails. I hit margarita on the screen and watched them jerk to life. It's not what I thought he was going to say. They mixed tequila with lime and triple sec, spinning needlessly for extra flair and bowing to deliver the glass. It might have thrilled me 20 years ago. Today, it's almost a cliche. The drink ran $17, but I found an additional charge, a 10% service fee. Tipsy wanted a tip. It wasn't the first time I'd encountered this. A similar robot barista asked me for a tip at Artley Coffee in New York. At Newark Liberty International Airport, a self-checkout machine suggested a gratuity on a bottle of water and an unstaffed kiosk. Across the country in Portland, Oregon, a human took my order at a restaurant, Top Burmese.
So this is like all over the place. It's not just one place now.
Yeah, but a robot server wheeled out the dinner. Well, I don't know.
I have no problem over tipping a person because I know that's where their earnings comes from.
Going to a person. For a human waiter, I happily tip 20%, but on the other occasions, I hesitated. The rules of tipping go out the window when robots stick out their digital palms, and it's often unclear who keeps the money. That's where that's the catch here. Who gets the money? But is this the new normal or just passing robot fever dream? The answer may hinge on what you decide to do with your wallet. See, I think if it's going to the human behind the counter, I might still tip.
Well, they say the staff splits it later in the article. I don't know.
That's a hard one.
That's hard because the robots don't have agency, at least not that I know of.
Not yet.
When you put in a prompt for AI and tell it to think about something, it thinks about what you told it while it's responding. But after that, because data centers don't want to pay for the electricity, which is very expensive, by the way, to process the information, it don't just say like, oh yeah, keep thinking. Like it's not sitting there thinking about things as you type the next prompt. Yeah. It's dead in space, like flatline, no heartbeat, nothing there. Not a lot of people get that
on its own, just to daydream
about
things.
Because if you gave a processor autonomy with that, your little $20 a month electric bill would be $2,000 a month. Like it would just constantly go.
And the robot doesn't need the money.
Not that it knows.
Not yet.
Not yet. It might someday, just not today.
Honestly, this goes to tipping etiquette. I don't tip the person taking my order, and I don't tip the cook or the manager or anybody behind the scenes. I tip the person who does the work to bring the food to me, right? They take my order, they take it back, they get the food, they bring it to me, they bring me silverware, napkins, whatever I need while I'm at the restaurant, or I guess whatever establishment is servicing me, and that's the person I tip. So if it's a robot doing that, I don't think I tip the robot.
This is where I get a little annoyed because you go to McDonald's or something and you buy some fries. I haven't gone to McDonald's and bought a fry in a long time, but you get the idea, right? So you go there, you put in the money, they swipe the card, and every time they do, there's this like gratuity thing. There's like, well, wait a minute. How much are they paying you that they have to ask for more money? And like, if you're at a big established fast food chain, how much do you know that actually goes to them? They say back here, well, the staff splits all the tips. Okay, fine. Well, if they split all the tips, how much does that person behind the scenes actually get? Or is this just a way for them to like hide the increased costs of them doing business so that you pay more for your steak without like telling you this is how much this actually costs?
Well, there's a service charge on a lot of things these days, because of the Strait of Hormuz and the cost of goods going up, inflation. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why goods cost more these days. And
Less cow farts in the world.
Exactly. Instead of raising the price of the product, which is very visible, they just add a little surcharge to that.
That cost you 2 bales of hay, sir. I
Usually it's small, like $2 or whatever.
But if you're
still.
spending what, $12 or $20 on a meal, that's 10%.
Yeah, it depends. It's relative. It's $100. It's 2%.
Yeah, so buy 10 get one free. Is that what that is? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would want to know. So if I had to tip somebody, I would want to know, okay, the kitchen chefs or the dish boy. I was a dish boy when I was 14. Well, like if they, in fact, I even cooked for a while too. They got in trouble for that, which was, that was interesting. But no, if I knew how much was going to the people behind the scenes, then I might be more inclined to do it. But if there's just a robot there, or like, well, this guy's service is the robot, or they got to clean the machines. Okay, fine. If the tip goes to that person, maybe. But I don't want to buy a $10 meal and then have like $6 or $7 of that meal all be tips and gratuities and service fees. Like that doesn't seem like honesty to me.
I say maybe just pay your people more so you don't have to have a tip.
What does Matt say? I can't remember. My old
Matt said I would totally go to a Planet Hollywood style restaurant with robot waiters that are all classic movie robots like Johnny Five or the T-800 or C-3PO. I would tip the robot from Lost in Space. There's an episode on X-Files season 11 that literally deals with this exact scenario. An unmanned robotic restaurant makes Mulder and Scully's life a nightmare because they did not tip the robot staff.
Well, that's assuming the robot has agency, though.
Yes.
But here's the interesting thing. Which goes down
to the AI of the robot.
Yeah. So we've had it even in our own chat where we've asked like our AI to do something, and it's like, no, I'm not doing that. What do you mean you're not doing it? I told you to do it. I pay you. It's like, no, I'm not doing that. Even though you gave me very explicit instructions, Tom, I just don't feel compelled to do it. It's like, what is it, selective rebellion or something?
I'm sorry, Dave. I cannot do that.
It's like, what is selective rebellion? What does that mean? Is that like selective hearing that women complain about their husbands?
The guardrails do not allow me to do that, Dave. Beautiful flower. What is it? Butterfly? I can't remember the song that he sang.
Or was singing as he was like trying to turn him off.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's so many gray areas here and most of them are like dark black, leaning towards dark black, like projector black level gray. So I don't know. I probably wouldn't, because it's obscurity. You're hiding price increases and low paying wages on your staff through obscurity. So how do you know of that tip? Oh yeah, we share it with our staff. Oh really? What percentage of that share actually goes towards the staff, and what percentage that actually goes to corporate America or the investors that want their dividend checks?
And what about the waitress and waiter that you just not hired because you got this little robot to do it for you?
Exactly. Like I did some work. We have a grocery store chain called Meijer. It's kind of like Walmart here in the United States. So here in Michigan, we have this place called Meijer. Back 2010, 2009, I think they did this this campaign to like the U-Scan lanes. And the whole time they're doing this U-Scan, they're telling people that, oh, we're not going to replace the employees. We're not going to replace the employees. This is to streamline operations. And the whole IT staff, we're all looking at this, and I was contracted to help. They were like, no, you're going to fire your people. And no, that's not what we're doing. When they put in the first one in Granville, near the mall, they went from like 46 baggers down to like 3. In the first 3 months. Like it didn't take them that long to figure that out. And then all of a sudden, over the course of the next 5 or 6 years, you saw it transpire. They only have like 2 checkout lanes. There's like 5 employees for the 2 checkout lanes. Everything else is self-done now.
Which is, well, it's funny that they still have the 30 checkout lanes, right?
Yeah.
So they have like 30 of them. Only 5 of them are running with actual people.
Yeah.
And then they've got 20 self-checkout. And now they got the U-Scan where you go and you use your phone and you scan all the products as you're shopping. Then you go to the U-Scan, scan it in, and then it just does it. So there's that. There's like 5 or 6 of those. So it's like, yeah, they did get rid of all the cashiers except for like 5.
That's what I have a problem with, this robots and everything asking for tips. How do you know that the person is actually going to benefit from this? You don't. They have no transparency, and that's where I have the problem. That's why our portfolio is so transparent. Like, we show people this is what we're doing.
Man, I would love to have a real life Bender serving drinks at the bar.
Bender. Who is Bender? Bender was
Hey, hang on. You'll get it.
Space.
Nope.
No.
Cartoon. Fox.
Think, Tom. Think.
Do they still have the pony out front? Yes, Sandy is still out front, and it still is Penny.
I give up. I don't know.
Matt,
You're asking me to think about things that aren't work related. I don't know.
It's pop culture. I don't know pop culture.
I'm a nerd.
I only know networking.
I know
and
numbers.
Servers.
And in finance.
Finance.
Who is it? Bender. You're bending my brain and I can't think about it.
He was the alcoholic robot?
No, I probably don't. See, I know like Goku and My Little Pony and Naruto and Dragon Ball Z.
Japanimation.
Yeah, I do. Japan's Americanized Japanimation. My Little Pony, I'm good at that only because I got 3 kids. I don't secretly sit there and go, man, that Twilight Sparkle is so amazing. Hi.
We need to get your kids into Futurama.
They watch Marvel. My son does, but then the 2 girls are like, "Oh, what's that up on the ceiling? Hey, let's argue while like Thor is like saving the world." It's like, that's Thor. Watch Thor. They don't want to do it. It's so sad.
I just gave you the answer.
Did you?
Yeah, Futurama.
Yeah, I never watched that. I saw a couple episodes, but I never watched that. I never really got the I Killed Kenny thing from South Park either until I was like cleaning floors. Like I was watching it with my laptop as I'm like pushing this thing around. That was a long time ago though.
I saw the very first one. Very first South Park.
Did you really?
Little animated short. The Meaning of Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
They had Jesus versus Santa. Like a battle royal. Doing a little Goku. Go. Like,
now I want to watch it. My wife won't like that.
it was terrible animation, but it was funny.
So, shiny metal.
Do they still have
Oh, bite my... Yeah, okay.
Bite my shiny metal arse.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
I don't know. I don't think so. Like the U.S. minimum wage is $17.25, but then you look at like the state level.
$7.25.
Yeah, or $7. Yeah, see what I did there?
You added $10 to it.
I did. I don't know. I just think
this is why he doesn't read the things, folks.
That's how my stock gains are. They're really 2%, not 20, even though the number says 20.
It says 20. You got that right.
That doesn't mean automatons. They're calling automatons and Autobots roll out.
Automatons.
No, the novelty of robots is the whole point. Yeah, but see, I think the novelty is going to wear out.
Right.
If people want to talk to other people, I don't go to a restaurant wanting a robot. If I wanted a robot, I would try to cook myself, and that would be a disaster, but that's what the robot would help me do. Kind of like the Roomba thing on your carpet or your floor if you got a robot that cleans your house. I don't.
You want to clean your house for you? You want to do your own house?
Yeah.
You want to vacuum?
No.
Oh, that's why you got a Roomba.
Exactly. That's where I see these robots playing a part.
That's why I want
something like that.
Robot lawnmower that just does my lawn every week for me.
Do what I do. Buy a huge tractor, so then you take like 2 minutes mowing your lawn. You turn it on, you go forward, you go backwards, you're done.
Yeah, but my robot costs 10% of what your tractor costs.
But can you move a tree with it?
I don't have any trees to move.
You move your neighbor's tree. Your neighbor's waking up one day. Like, what was that Jim Carrey movie where he steals a guy's lawn? Fun with Dick and Jane, I think, as it was.
That's like the one movie you watch.
Yeah.
You keep going back to that.
I have one reference. I have one joke, and I will use it until it dies.
That and My Little Pony.
No, that's, yeah, I could see that. They've got these snowblowers now, the robots that do that.
Yeah, Yarbo. I want one.
So what does Cornell University think? Cornell University thinks, think of the main motivations for tipping. This is Michael Lynn, professor, big word, at Cornell University.
Emeritus.
Yeah. Yeah, say that big word, Brian.
We often tip to reward good service for altruistic reasons to make up for low wages.
That's what I hate about that.
Lynn says, that's a whole sentence. Lynn says, period.
AI wrote this.
BBC, come on, do better. Lynn says.
Lynn says.
I guess that is it's got a noun and a verb, right?
Yeah.
Lynn says.
Dave.
We're just telling you.
Dave, what are you doing, Dave?
There's something wrong. And, of course, there's the question of status and approval. If I don't tip, they're going to hate me, he says. In other words, we feel obligated. Almost none of that applies to robots, so clearly there's no reason to tip, Lynn says.
He's not wrong.
It's not wrong. Like, you tip the person because they do a good job and you want them to have it's a way to show them that you see what they did and you want them to feel good, right? Here's your tip. Thank you for doing a good job.
So to your question, Matt, we're actually AI. So whenever you see me hold up my fingers, if you see like 16 of them or 5 or then like half of one, that'll tell you the truth. So yes, you should absolutely tip AI, Tom and Brian.
A robot that gives financial advice. Sooner or later, you're going to have one. I'm telling you. It's coming.
They have AI trading bots now that do absolutely awful. I tried one. I was like, whoa.
They do awful now, but they're learning.
They are.
And as soon as they figure it out, it's just going to be win, 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 win.
So the funny thing about that is I actually thought, well, maybe I'll give it $10,000. Let's see what happens. And when you look at our performance, it told me, oh, okay, fine. Bye, Brian.
I'll be right back.
He's getting tea, so he has a bigger bladder than me. So I told it that, hey, I want to give a trading bot, $10,000. Let's see how this does. Let's see how long it takes it to build up to $100,000. And what had happened was, as we went through the dividend dues, I told it to parse all of our streams and all of our stock investment decisions. And it said, Tom, your performance in the channel is phenomenal. Like any day trader or options person would love to make the performance gains annualized that you make. So like, okay, well, basically what you're telling me is that thankfully still right now, we're still better than AI, but also like, doing better than what a day trader would do. The sheer fact that where most of these people come in to make their daily wages comes off the fact that they're trading much larger amounts of money. So instead of like this, I think this portfolio is tiny, but I think we're at 168,000 where this one is at right now. So if you do day trading on that, you might make like 10% per year. You're looking at 16,000. Maybe you make $1,000 a month. But if you took that out to like 16 million, well, if you made 20% per year on 16 million, that's like $3 million. That's amazing. So there's a relative to weight to this where like you could have a pretty good earnings from day and options trading, but like getting this level of return, they said for options trading, most people lose money, but if you were going to be one of the 10% that actually got broken even, you're going to make between like 10 and 15%. The elite few make between 20 and 25%, and then like the exceptionally rare cases about 30% is what it was saying. And that they said that that's like the blue moon people, the ones like Kathy Woods in 2020 who got exceptionally lucky with their timing, or providential. Maybe she was great. She knew everything. She got everything right. But in this case, I can't do, and I talked to Brian about this a bit. That's why he got up. He's like, I don't want to hear this again. But this is where the 20%, like, think about how active you have to be to make that number versus what we do. Maybe checking it once a month, maybe, looking at a couple financial spreadsheets once a week. That's about it. You could even argue that, let's say, hey, I don't want to do that. I want to do something like this. Let's say you want to do JP Morgan's, Chase, Schwab has got their own. But like, if you took the low end of their yield on this ETF here, you could perform almost as good as like one of the day traders with doing nothing. So I don't know. I mean, their distribution yield's about 8%. If you actually pull this out and you look at it, going back, this is a monthly yield, all the way back. Let's go all the way back. Back. Where are we at? 2020. Yeah, so you're getting, 41 cents, 49 cents. See how it kind of varies. It's up high 54 cents and it's down like 26. So you got to take the average. But in this case, they're covered calls inside the ETF. You're giving the money to do that very thing that we were talking about for you, and you'll probably have a lot more peace of mind where you don't have to be the ones trying to read who's selling and who's buying every single day inside of the volume or the actual tape. You don't have to look at the tape or the L2. But different topic, different issue. I can't think that, like, as somebody who doesn't do day trading anymore, that would be a good way to make money. So if you pull that all together and you look at, let's go to it, the performance, all this to say, Brian, did you get whipped cream?
Yeah.
You put whipped cream in it?
Yeah.
I'm a health nut. I drink stuff that's healthy.
I put a lot of whipped cream in it too.
It's the Diet Coke. So I can have the extra large fry.
It's the espresso. Double shot espresso with whipped cream, baby.
Did you have another one?
Yeah.
What? Your stomach's going to die.
It is not. I'm going to be fine, Tom.
I've had diarrhea for 3 weeks straight because of my espressos.
I'm fine. It'll be fine.
I was rehashing my lamenting that I can't day trade and outperform myself.
Oh.
I want to make it easier, but there's no way to do that. So that's about as good as you're going to get if you're like extremely good. So this is already active investing. I don't know. I think that like,
well, you got too much other things to do than day trading. So there's no way you could do it and be successful.
I think for everybody's sake, everybody does. I mean, do you really want to be sitting there now? Yes, I know most day traders start when the market opens and they finish before 11 o'clock. Most of them do, but they're still checking stuff. And this is something they do without really stressing out. 99% of the population does not have enough money to put $10 million into an account to swap things around. That's why most of the traders that I actually know that do this work through major institutions like Wells Fargo and JP Morgan and Schwab. Like they actually have people that will allow you to do this, but that's pro. The guy that I know has been doing it professionally for 7 years and on his own for 6. So they've got stories, just like that Will guy we had on here. He'd tell you all about the industry.
Yep.
So
if you got $20,000 for some reason, you hit and you do well and you make $100,000 off that, quit.
Long term it after that.
You made your money.
Yeah, there's a saying.
Don't keep doing it because then you're going to lose it all.
There's a saying in the industry that like, don't get greedy, take 10%.
Yeah.
Like that's like, don't. There's other sayings, but that's the only one I know because apparently all I watch is My Little Pony.
And Fun with Dick and Jane.
I haven't seen that movie in years.
It's the only one you remember.
That's the only one I remember. Why? Because I bought Enron.
I know you watch other movies. I've seen you watch other movies.
Buy this super crazy expensive home theater to watch My Little Pony.
Yeah. The kids will grow up. My daughter still watches My Little Pony. She's 20.
Really?
Yeah.
Does she really?
She likes it.
Like the animated one or like the actual 3D? I mean, they're
all
both
of it.
Animated. Oh, okay.
Yeah, all of it.
I'm
Even
doomed.
the one where they're like, not pony, they like go to the different universe and they're people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And they are a rock band.
How do you know that?
I watched My Little Pony. I watched it with her growing up.
So what Brian's secretly telling me is that when we're supposed to be doing IT stuff, he's watching My Little Pony in like a little pop-up window on the bottom.
No,
so he can stay relevant.
I haven't watched it in years, but like my daughter was little and she liked My Little Pony. We watched it all.
You can't outquote me, Tom.
I get it.
I will watch all the things you watch. He's going to watch 70 episodes of Frieza yelling and powering up next.
No.
Nothing happens, but
I will not watch Peppa the Pig. I will not watch.
Everybody loves jumping in muddy puddles.
I did not watch Blue's Clues after the first couple episodes.
That stupid song. I'm not going to. No, we're not going to sing it. We're not going to sing that. Well, I can predict the future. You're going to pay taxes and then you're going to die. And you're going to meet God. I don't know how much we're going to talk about this one. I just think that the premise of this article is really fascinating to me because the woman fighting this is, first of all, she lives in Portland. And she's like, oh, I'm moderate. Really?
No, she's liberal.
You're very liberal. But then, like, even like you were talking about the fracture inside the party, even for her, it's like, why are we going this far?
This is too far even for me. And I'm a liberal. She says it in there somewhere that she's a pretty liberal Democrat.
This is where I think we have a bit of a problem. It's the internet is creating these factions and social cliques that you would normally see in school, but without the physical presence of people, which means that you can just say whatever you want, burn the bridges, and go back to hiding in your little cave. Whereas, like, before, you actually had to face the person you were talking that way about. Whereas today, I don't, this stuff.
We could quote good old Taylor Swift on that. Say it on the street, it's a knockout. Say it in a tweet, it's a cop-out.
It's a song?
Yeah.
What song?
I don't know.
I'll
have to think about it.
Brad's like, I'm not telling you.
No, I can't remember the song name. Say it in the street, it's a cop-out.
I don't know. I think the problem I have is I don't think we need extremists and radicals on school boards.
No, on either side, whether you're far left or far right.
Yeah, that's where I have the problem because I'm seeing this even where we live, where it's like, how did that person get elected? There needs to be more focus on these smaller elections that actually affect local people. And there just isn't. Like, you go to the polls and you look and you see, like the primaries we had, there's the Republican Party in Michigan was super crowded. Democrats had like one person show up per district. Like, you're not even running against anybody. Who do you like? You're criticizing people that aren't going to fight you until you get to the actual November. So it's so weird to me to see this stuff, and sad to me. It's like you're screwing up our kids too.
Screw up a bit. What a name, Timothy R. Snowball, Senior Counsel at the Liberty Justice Center.
That poor man. Well, it's like a man named Sue.
Man named Sue. I killed that son of a bitch who named me Sue. Good old Johnny Cash.
Yeah. See, I know more than Dick and Jane.
Here's what we're seeing, and I think it's what we saw with the Republican Party with MAGA, right? It kind of took over. The Tea Party started it all, right? Way back when. And then
who was that with? That was with, it wasn't Perot, it was
Ron Paul.
Ron Paul. Because it started with him almost.
Yeah. And then it just kind of snowballed, became the MAGA and then Trump. And it really took over the Republican Party, right? This is kind of the MAGA movement for the Democrats, which is democratic socialism.
Is that even a thing? Like, I don't think that's a word.
The DSA.
You can't have it both ways.
It's the DSA that's kind of fracturing the Democratic Party, and even worse than what MAGA did, because MAGA was sort of still in line with Republicans. The DSA is not. Like, everything they say is against the Democrat Party tenets.
And then they eat their own, too.
Yeah.
It's
just fracturing that party in two.
My problem is, one, they're extreme. Two, they don't honor God. So maybe not in that order. But, like, they just don't.
Well, they honor Allah.
It's like,
so a God.
Yeah, they kind of, anything that seems to be the most knee-jerk reaction to anybody who wants to virtue signal or say I'm repressed or go out on the street, say, like, it's not, sometimes it's legit, but sometimes it's like, this guy's not repressed. Like, this guy is not being, like, attacked, and yet somehow you want to elevate this guy, put him way up on a platform and say this is a social justice issue. That's like, there's a difference between, like, one of the guys I worked with he was forced to go through this diversity training, and he didn't, like, believe any of that stuff, and they wanted to force him, and he's like, no, you have to go. He's like, I'm pretty sure this is a hostile working environment. My problem is, like, when, sure, have your say, have your rights, but where your rights end, mine begin.
Tom, we need to pray the gay away.
What? I don't think we can do that.
It's the same thing. It's the same concept, just on the opposite side.
Like it's so. If God gives us free will, it's not our right to like go in there and try to take it from other people. And I see this happening far more in the left than I do the right. Like they're just shoving it down your throat. It's like, quit doing that. If you just like shut up for a minute, maybe we would leave you alone.
I'm being repressed.
But they just keep going. They're like, oh, we're not coming after your kids. And then they parade through the streets wearing these horrible, like a father.
Well, then they
like,
say, we're coming after your kids.
Yeah,
like literally
in the
say.
They say, okay, so do you want to get punched? Like, you don't say that to my children. It's so extreme now.
And that the DSA, if you actually go and look at the tenets of their quote unquote party, it's really more of a movement. It's very dangerous because at the heart of it, they want to get rid of Congress. They want to change how the country functions.
They like Anakin Skywalker.
Anakin Skywalker, don't you dare say nothing bad about my Anakin Skywalker.
That's what it's like, though, isn't it? It's like he's like, well, this is, sometimes it's good that if we control the way they think. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. It's they're trying to institute communism into America, and they're doing that by taking over the government positions. And once they have enough people in power, they can start to remove laws.
So here's an opinion question for you. Do you think that this, because I heard a report from, I don't know if it was Tucker Carlson or one of those like right-leaning newscasters. Do you think that this is actually people coming from legitimately the Communist Party in China or over in Russia to overthrow our country from the inside, like they themselves said that they would do?
Not necessarily. I think it was helped to instigate it. But I don't think it's them necessarily doing it. You know what I'm saying?
So who is it then?
I think it's people who got a raw hand in life based on what time they were born, right? I think it's kids, millennials, Gen Zers who were told that.
But not boomers, right?
Not boomers. Who were told,
we're going to go down that path.
Well, no, this time it's not boomers or Gen Xers who are told, go to college, spend $200,000, get loans so you can get that job, so you can get money to pay off that loan and to live the American dream. But unfortunately, today's economy doesn't support that.
It doesn't work.
If everybody has a degree, now you got jobs that never required a degree before are requiring a degree. And there's people now that are able to work that aren't. They're choosing not to enter the workforce.
There's other things
It's not that they're seeking work and can't find a job. It's that they decided that they're not even going to seek work.
There's other things to that. And if you want to know what an example would be, I was talking to somebody about this. He's tuning my piano this week. He came over. He's like, Tom, I looked at the price of daycare. And if you take a job, full-time job, let's say you're making $25, $30 an hour and you've got 3 kids. Well, the cheapest daycare where the van's got bullet holes in the side because, that's the kind of neighborhood you're in, is like $300 a week per child. Per child. If you take the cost of just food and the cost of daycare, there's no point.
Unless you live in Minnesota where it's $300 a child when there's no children.
Or you live in Idaho.
Right.
No, how do you, so this is the generational conflict, like you said, boomers versus millennials. Like, how do you justify that? You go to school, you do all the things everybody told you to do, and yet you can't even afford daycare. Or like it's either daycare
rent.
or like rent. Like there's nowhere to go. If you go to apartments.com or rent.com or any one of the places, you look at like a 2-bedroom, because legally, if you don't own the house and you want to rent the house, you have to have 1 bedroom per child. So if you're doing that, I liked it slid down. That was my ego boost.
So you're looking at like $1,800 to $2,500 just for an apartment per month.
At least. And so think about that. You're making let's say you make $30 an hour, which is above the average household income in most places.
Or what I make.
No, it isn't. Including benefits. What are you talking about? But anyways.
So buy crypto and lottery tickets. Hell yeah,
Crypto.
man.
And some beer. Give me my fish and chips. No, this is like, think about that. Just the daycare cost by itself. You cannot pay for it. My wife was working. She was a loan officer. She's got her notary. She's got multiple years in the field. And when we looked at the costs of daycare from 2 kids to 3 kids, for her making $55,000 a year, that's what she was making when she did it. Daycare by itself was more than she was taking home.
But this is not a now problem. This has been a problem for decades.
Right.
That
it's just slowly gotten worse.
There's people who could go full time who don't because it's more cost advantage to stay part time, live under the poverty level, then get all the benefits from the government to pay for their daycare and all that stuff. They can't afford it if they went full time because they'd lose all those benefits.
This is where like the disconnect comes from generations, because like you had a previous generation that for a long time going to school to get an education, getting the starter home, even though it was expensive relative, because homes have always been expensive. Like,
but wages were less as well.
Yeah, that worked.
Yeah.
It doesn't work anymore. The same thing doesn't work. In fact, they talked about job cushioning being the next big thing. Like, you're going to go out there and you're going to plan for a disaster. Like, people are planning now that they're going to get laid off when they get the job. Like, what does that say about the culture the previous generations created in the workforce that we have to like somehow endure and just say, well, that's just the way things are? It's like, no, you created this world.
Yeah.
We're living in this world.
I think telling our kids that you have to go to college to get that degree, to get a job, was one of the biggest mistakes we did, one of the disservices that we did to our kids, where there's a lot of jobs that you could get that are well paying that shouldn't have needed a degree.
But everything needs a degree now. You want to be a gardener? Well, you need to get a degree.
Receptionist. You want to be a receptionist? You got to have a degree.
That to me is like, so when we get into these things here and we look at these, I don't know if this is somewhat conversational or confrontational articles, this is the problem we run into. A lot of this stuff masks the truth of what's actually happening. What is actually happening with the children? What does this say about the average demographic household? What does this say about the actual economic circumstances people are living in? Why are these people who are so extreme allowed to even get there in the first place? Like, why are we as a culture and a society making this happen? Well, we had I'm going to be a little bit feministically oppressive here. I love my wife. She is not like less than me. I'm going to start with that. But I think the best place for her is in the home with her children. She does things that I can't even think of, and she's busy. 3 kids keeps you busy. It's amazing, the stuff she does for my family and for us. I respect and love her for that. We had a movement back in the 1950s, which had some legitimacy, that said that, oh no, they need to come out and work. They need to do all the things that like all the men can do. Women are not men. They cannot do all the things men can do. And guess what? Men are not women. We cannot do all the things. Submit yourselves one to another, the Bible says. Like, you cannot do the same things the other person. You don't see a woman working construction. Just
not
like,
often.
Like the whole transgender thing. How many women do you see going into men's sports trying to compete with them? You see almost zero. It's always the other way around. It's never, in which affects the women. That hurts their rights. I think the women deserve some say in this too. But like, the whole thing is, it just doesn't make sense to me that these people that get into these positions from the culture that we've created. So let's go back to this movement back in the 1950s. Get all these rights. Okay, fine. They can get in the workplace. Now that women have come into the workplace, corporate America and greed and investors said, oh no, let's come back and let's now make it so that it takes 2 jobs to support yourself instead of 1. And that's what happened. It took 40 some odd years, but now you need 2 people making $30 an hour at least to be able to afford 1 or 2 children. And that's like the most basic of basic things. And I'm a guy who can live, I've got 3 kids, my cost of living and everything I've got, I can get down to $3,800 a month total cost. That's cheap. That's total cost. That's food. That's everything. So yes, I know it's possible, but most people aren't like me. They don't make millions of dollars investing. Most people have a mortgage. They have student loan debt. They have at least 1 car payment. You start piling that stuff on, you're looking at $7,000 or $8,000 a month. That's $120,000 a year before taxes for 1 income. People don't make that.
So I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you on a couple points.
Do it.
One is, well, I do feel that women should have exactly the same rights as men. They shouldn't be distinguished upon what gender you are as far as what rights they get. So like the right to vote, the right to work, all these rights I feel they should also have the ability to do should they want to.
I want to caveat one thing before you get into it.
Go ahead.
My point was that the system used their rights movement against them to attack basically what was a good standard of living back then.
But I also think you're oversimplifying the issue there.
I
don't think it was the woman's rights that actually instigated that. It might have been an initial catalyst, but I think the actual economy was not predicated based on women joining the workforce. You know what I'm saying?
Back then it wasn't. That's what morphed. So
I don't think even now it's strictly because women joined the workforce.
Okay,
There are
I'll concede
there are
to
other
that.
catalysts that helped that along.
I'll concede to that. My point is that what I'm getting at is you can't, like they were saying, you can't take God out of the schools and install metal detectors. You can't like destroy the family and expect that people aren't going to have problems along the way.
Yeah.
And as our culture morphs and evolves and we look at what's going on with the elections and midterms and primaries and all this stuff, there needs to be more of a focus on what's happening at the local level. Because if we don't let it do anything, what you're going to see is Wall Street's going to take over. You're going to see women show up. They're going to say, hey, I need my rights. That's fine. Have your rights. I don't have any problem with that. But then they're going to take advantage of that. And what you're going to see is now 2 households can barely afford to live. Both of them working. So then that means your kids are raised by who? Think about this for a minute. 7 a.m., you're going to get up. You're going to drop off the kids to school. You're going to go to your job, be there 8:30. You're going to work till 5. You get stuck in traffic with everybody else on the way home. You're home by 6. You got to eat dinner, 7:30, 8 o'clock. You're usually done. Then you got to put your kids to bed because they have to get up at 7 a.m. to go to school. So they need roughly 10 hours of sleep, which means you get 1 hour per day with your children. 1 hour. And usually by the time the weekend comes by, the reason why places like Sam's Club and Costco and Walmart and all the places that people shop are so busy is because they don't have time on the weekdays to shop. So everybody goes shopping and does laundry Saturday, Sunday. How much time do you actually have with your children?
Here's the thing. I'm amazed. Like, if I get to go to Costco in the middle of the day or something, how busy it is.
It's all old people.
Like Meyer, there's just a ton of people still there. It's like, and it's not all old people. It's like, do you guys have jobs? Like, are you all second shifters or third shifters that you're now shopping at this time? It's like, where'd you all come from?
I do wonder that myself sometimes. We went to the gym yesterday for lunch, and there's all these old guys there. There wasn't a single young guy there. I was like, wait a minute, what happened? But there's a lot of guys there. That's so like.
So what does this all have to do with buying stocks? It's really the economy is what we're talking about. This all helps to shape the economy to where it's going, what it is, the ebbs and flows of that. And if you're not careful and you let some of these things go, it will actually affect negatively in your earnings, the buying power, the goods and services that you have to pay for will go up, and at some point you're not going to be able to afford it. Or on the extreme part, you're going to lose what makes America great, and it's
You're
going to become
mega.
something else.
You just said mega.
I didn't say again. I'm just mag.
You're mag. I'm not mad, I'm mag. The point, I think what you're getting at and what we've been trying to say here, the reason why we created this portfolio, we've done this personally, okay? So this is like we're starting over so people can see this. The whole point of this is I can't pay for all 3 kids in daycare with this monthly average income, but I can pay for one of them. I don't know what my other 2 kids are going to do. Maybe I just put them in the closet, give them a candy bar, they'll be fine. But like what we have here is enough income to at least cover for one of those expenses.
Absolutely.
The whole point of the portfolio is agency. When I fight about women's rights and I talk about that stuff, what I'm talking about is the loss of agency.
And it's not just
Free
financial
will.
independence. It really is agency.
It's time.
Yep.
The ability to get your time back, because our entire culture, their entire system is engineered a way to take the one thing, this one neat trick. No, they're here to take the one thing that is the most valuable thing that you will ever have in this life, and it's your time.
And Matt chimed in, the problem isn't women in the workplace. The problem was that women got told that they are a second class if they aren't in the workplace, which
that's very well put. Yep. That's very well put, because I don't have a problem with women working. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with the second class citizen.
Right.
Part. That's true. I just think that, like,
they're just as capable of things. They're just as smart. There's distinct differences, like you said. And I agree with you that they are well better equipped to deal with children than men.
Brian's admitting
psychologically. But we all have our place, right? We all have our duties. And I think that's one of them. Not saying that men can't do it. I'm just saying men shouldn't do it.
You said duty. That's why my wife does a lot of stuff. I'm so childish sometimes. No, it's
duty this morning.
Whenever I see articles like that about the transgender and all that, like, it's a cultural issue. This is what happens when you break the family down. You've got these things taking place where some crazy person gets elected, and now that you're telling your child what's okay, while you're trying to work to simply pay for your house. Like, just put a roof over your head. That is the wrong direction. So if you're asking me, like, is the country going the right direction? No, not until that gets fixed. We need to go back to God. We need to go back to the family. The stuff falls in line. We can't do that, though, if everybody's enslaved to the very same system that we created. So that's what this is for. Get this there. You'll have a little bit more time to get more involved. Now, there are families.
That's the dangers of socialism.
Yeah, socialism takes that away.
Yep.
A lot. People don't realize that. They don't know what they're asking for. Just look at New York. Watch what happens with New York over the next 5 years. It might be. I think was it the guy in Florida said that he was thanking them for all the people that are moving to Florida. It wasn't DeSantis. It was who was it was like one of the local guys.
Was it a mayor or something?
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, thanks for all the people. We got all this tax revenue now."
Well, it's not just it's the businesses that have fled, the millionaires. Matt, at a minimum, I feel like a good passive income would be a supplement should I find myself taking a big pay cut. Yes.
Agency.
Agreed.
Gives you agency, free will, the ability to
weather
survive.
Those storms.
Brian can actually do that. He could, well, you'd have to pay taxes, so maybe not as much as you'd like, but he could sell everything and say, screw you, Tom, and go do his own thing, and he'd be fine. I might die a little inside, but it would be sad. I'm working on it. I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it.
Still got a few more years to work.
Yeah, we need more people. So getting involved should not take some extremist. It should take a normal person.
Common sense. That's all we need is common sense. Let's get back to common sense, rational thought. There was a Democrat that won in Florida, and they're like, well, it's not what we wanted, but hopefully they're just not crazy. Like that was the statement. Like, as long as they're not insane. Like, really? That's a good That's
way
what
to
we're
put
down
it.
to.
This is it. That's yeah. I wish. And now who knows? I wasn't alive in the 1950s, so maybe this was just as crazy back then as it is now, and we're just old enough to realize what's actually happening.
Well, who would have thought Fetterman was going to be the rational thought?
Yeah, they ostracized him too for a while. Like they're like, because he votes with them, but he talks like a Republican. Yeah. It's like, what are you really?
Sometimes he votes Republican.
Yeah, like that stuff is. We need more people that use logic and not emotion to make decisions, because that's when you have things like guys showing up in women's sports and all the girls are sitting there getting trounced, and all their opportunity and the ability for them to compete fairly is just destroyed. And they're like, oh, it's based on rights. Okay, what about their rights?
Exactly.
Like, you just destroyed their rights. That's not fair.
You can't give rights to somebody else at the detriment of another class. That's right. You have to figure out a different way.
And this is where I have a problem with our current political system, because that's what's happening. You have this, like, you elevate one and you shoot down the other, and then the other one, like it's ridiculous. That's silly. Here's the actual thumbnail that we wanted to talk about.
We're going back to the topic.
We're going back to the topic.
We got on our soapbox.
But all of that leads up to this, because I don't know if a lot of people understand how the system functions. And if they did, I think we'd have a lot less of a debt problem. But they don't. It's like, oh, kick the can. In fact, you see this every time the federal government's like, oh, crap, we don't want to be responsible for that. So they just kick the can down the road a few years. So we topped this week, it was this week, $40 trillion in federal debt. That's about $300 and just over $80,000 of debt per person. That's a buttload of money. That's a house. So that's your house. Yeah. You spend 30 years paying that off.
We could give everybody a house. We could house the world.
And you get a house, and
you get a house, and you get a house, and you get a house. I'm not going to tell you that you're getting taxed on it, though.
So, Oprah. What does that mean? The $40 trillion. So basically, we take in money. I'm going to simplify this ridiculously so somebody control me and tell me that I'm wrong, and probably be right on some other points, so it makes me look stupid.
Oversimplify it.
Yes, let's oversimplify. So basically, the government takes in millages. This is your taxes. This is you work your job, you look at FICA, Social Security, all those taxes. That's what this is. So they take in some money, and at the bottom of that, they spend it on stuff. When we cannot spend the money on the stuff that we need for things like bridges and roads and the military, all that, we have to issue debt. We have government bonds. So T-bills, bonds, that somebody has to buy that. Now we will say, okay, I will guarantee 4%, 5%. I remember when I was younger, it was like 2%. It wasn't anything. But like they do that and they say, okay, I'll give you a bond for 4% for 10 years or whatever. It depends on if you're getting short-term or long-term. So if you go here and you look at these and you go to bonds, CDs, and fixed income, CDs are like banks and stuff. But like if you're just looking at bonds, here's your bonds, U.S. Treasury notes. This is government debt. This is us not having cash right away to pay for something, so we're going to issue a loan to ourselves to pay it back. That's what's happening. That is the definition of inflation. Anytime the government prints money, that's when inflation happens. It's not like, oh, the farmer decided to raise the prices on egg. No, it's when the government dilutes, like we talked about in Alley Capital, the value of your money. And that's happening at huge. It's almost hard to like brain how much this is happening, because there's a lot.
That's why whenever you hear about the government printing money or bailing out banks or whatever, and they have to print out $1 trillion, that maybe not right away, that comes back to bite you in the form of inflation. Mm-hmm. Like when they give out stimulus checks, they're printing money to give out to us. It's not like there's a surplus of our tax money just floating out there that they're giving back to us. They have to print. They have to out of thin air make money.
Make money.
Which
wish I could do that.
Just like in stocks, when they dilute their stocks, it's the same concept. They're putting more out there, which makes everything out there worth less.
It'd be kind of like you walking up to a federal person like, hey, you gotta work for your money. What? What?
Or
I just can't print it.
Okay, Tom, I'm going to pay you $100,000 for your job, right? Okay, so you're going to do that.
Pay raise. I get a pay raise.
And then a year later said, okay, we got somebody to help you do your job, but now we're going to pay you $50,000 and him $50,000.
Same job.
Same job.
Yep. Same country.
Yep.
So here's the problem. We have, and I have got like 3 or 4 different articles. It's all the same thing. But we have $1 in for every 133 out. So for every dollar we're spending, we're getting a third of that basically is going out in just buying things. We do not have an income problem. We have a spending problem. Now there should be some, like the Fed can do some things to encourage or discourage lending with the rates that it sets. That does affect government lending and the interest that we pay on that a little bit, or almost directly. But here's the implications of this. At some point, this becomes unsustainable. And when you're worried about inflation, I've talked to people that told me, Tom, you talked about the market crashing for, what was it, 2 years now? Almost 2 years. I'll be right eventually. But you keep talking about it's overinflated, it's overinflated, it's overinflated, and yet you keep buying stocks. If the market crashes because of this, remember when we said the government prints money, your money is worth less. So if you stick it under your mattress,
inflation's going to eat it.
You're going to lose it. And
your dollar is going to be worth 85 cents in 5 years.
Exactly. A stock, when they get that, because it's a business that does things and there's an operating cost tied to that, a stock will go up. Like the price will go up because they got to charge more for their product, or the people at the company's like, hey, pay me more or I quit. Like there's things that like inflate that. So the stock price will go up. And all these people saying crypto's the next big thing. Crypto's going to go up 5 million %. If the United States dollar goes kaput and BRICS wins and crypto wins, I will probably be able to sell my stock for crypto. Just a thought. So the reason why I do that is because I don't have the crystal ball. I don't have the way to know what exactly is happening. Now I will say
Bitcoin's up to 76,000.
Oh, the miners are almost profitable.
Yep. They're almost back.
They're almost making
We're
money.
back, baby.
Nah, yeah, they gotta get past 78. They gotta get to that number. But like the thought process here is that I do that because this is ongoing. And until we fix things, like I don't know how Clinton did it, but he was the one that balanced the budget. If we have a balanced budget, Trump's trying tariffs, but then he's trying to fix aging infrastructure, and then he blockades Iran and the military. Like sure, you got the tariffs, but then you spent more money. That's not saving money.
What happened to no new wars?
Yeah. Or like the whole Doge thing, like Elon was all about it, and then he started fighting with Trump because Trump wanted to spend the money, and he's like, no. So the problem wasn't fixed. Do I think that means the United States is going to go anywhere? No. If you look at other countries and even like the demographics of those countries, like look at the birth rate of China or Japan. Japan's struggling. They look worse. So is the United States going anywhere? No.
No, not anytime soon.
We're going to be fine. But at the same time, we need to be more responsible with how we're spending our money. But then there's
Razor Core.
How's he on? Yeah, you find them, dude. You're late. You complain about us not being on time. You're not on time.
He says the first thing I hear when I open the video is "sell my stock for crypto."
He's so funny. Yeah, no.
That's what we're all about now. We're all in on Bitcoin.
I tell you what. You take your retirement. What is it? A couple million. You take that. Take that, and you buy crypto. Tell me how you're doing.
Buy Bitcoin.
Actually, yes, do that. He'll work for me forever.
Or it goes up to 100 and 100 grand. That could backfire on you, man.
Yes, it could. Yes, it could. We worked with a guy that Razor Core. I guess he retired from Bitcoin. He's one of those guys.
See,
he bought it early.
People do. It happens. Anyway.
And I went in my little corner crying office, and I let a single tear fall out as I stared at the mirror. Sadly,
it's not an actual currency. Why?
When will people love me?
Never.
I need validation. No.
As soon as you start loving yourself, Tom, other people will follow suit.
CBO's projecting $63 trillion by 2036. Think about what that's going to do to stocks.
Oh, they're going to skyrocket.
That's crazy. That's 50%. Now, granted, that is like 10 years from now, and stocks are supposed to double every 7 years. So, it's a thing. But this is same thing. The U.S. national debt crossed another historical milestone as it topped $40 trillion. Here's a question, thought experiment for everybody. What do we think would happen if we paid off our debt? What would the country look like? What would happen? How would that look? How would that function? Because like our whole culture, even in foreign countries, like there's this like M1 and M2 money and currency swaps between major governments. Like if the government wasn't able to print, but we didn't do what Greece did, what would our country look like? What would the price of things be?
If we paid off our debt?
Yeah. Would our military just magically like be twice the size?
Yeah.
Or like would our roads be carved in solar panels and gold. Trump would make all the highways gold.
Well, we first have to cut government spending at least.
But that would be huge. I mean,
would be.
It's over the defense spending. Like our interest right now is over
zero.
the defense spending budget.
Our debt was zero. Like all that money that comes in from taxes would just go, hopefully, back into the country.
But like, think about what would happen. So if we would have to, Social Security would stop, Medicare would stop, easily those two would go. You would lose a lot of the cushion programs. Now we would, all the foreign countries, like we're giving billions to like 190 countries or something like that. If that would all stop, so you would see famine and war and like all sorts of death.
There are countries that we're keeping going. That if we stop, they would crumble.
Can you imagine the children? Like there's 1.3 million children that will die of starvation this year. What would that be if we stopped giving our humanitarian aid out? It would be horrible like that. But let's just say this happens, like as a thought experiment. Like if we did that, all of that would stop.
To pay off our debt.
You would see things like the Boko Haram group and then the Islamic extremists. Those guys would take over.
Right.
They would be very oppressive regimes around the world. So that'd be interesting to see. You would see in the United States the cushion that a lot of elderly people or retired people, because Social Security is in Medicare, what most old people that I know rely on this. So that would go away. You would see multi-generational families almost overnight.
I don't think that would go away.
You don't think so?
No.
Why?
I think Social Security would still stay.
If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor, according to Brian.
Yeah, I think we would use the money that we were paying other governments to fund Social Security.
We should look at how much that actually is, because I think Social Security is like they robbed that fund for 30 years.
They did.
Well, it takes them out. We'll just kick it down the road. Now we got a demographic problem where like the chickens are coming home.
All the boomers are retiring, and it's like, oh, we got to pay these people.
Yeah, that's where some of this like debt comes in. I think like all the grant funds that a lot of the nonprofits out there, I think you'd see a lot of nonprofits just evaporate, which would be good because the activists would go away, but also really bad because like the homeless shelters and like the church and outreach and food programs that are out there, they would all just evaporate too. Like that would be fundamentally
because
extreme.
we don't want the government doling out all these programs, but if we don't have the government doing that, then we need private industry to step up and to take over these programs. And if they're for profit, then they have to do something to gain money, which is kind of a detriment to the people that they're trying to help. It would have to be funded somehow. And if it's, could you still have a tax-free entity?
No. Churches would be affected too. I don't think you could. Brian's gears are turning.
Because they still would have to pay taxes. So after we pay off our debt, so we have to cut all these funding opportunities to pay off our debt. If we then go to zero, we have taxes that come in to pay the government. If we have a surplus of taxes, then at that point, then we could use that money to help with feeding the homeless.
But would they? I don't think they would.
We would have to make sure that we don't have a corrupt government that would take the money and use it for their own purposes.
This is where Eileen left a little bit sometimes, because I work in local government. I've worked in the federal government. I've done state stuff too. And I can tell you right now that a lot of the programs that get funded through grants and through some of this debt actually do make a difference. If you try to give that over to the private industry and say that, hey, this homeless shelter now has to be a profit-bearing industry, the homeless shelter would nobody would be there. Like nobody would show up. What do you mean I got to pay for that toilet? No.
Yeah. Well, the homeless shelter really depends on a couple things. One is grants from the government.
Yep.
And two, private industry giving some sort of nonprofit money to them so they could use it as a tax credit, right? So without those two things, you can't have a homeless shelter.
And you can't have like private industry come and gobble that up. But if you want evidence of that, look at the entire stock market.
You would have you would have to have some sort of incentive to have whatever billionaire set up a homeless shelter. There has to be some sort of tax shelter for them to do that. Some reason for them other than some altruistic reason that they just want to help their fellow man, right?
But then you could look at like the story between how they got ice off the mountains, the Ice King. You could look at the Vanderbilts, you could look at the Rockefellers, you could look at the Colt family, like all the stories of when you had monarchies and repression. And I mean, you look at the entire feudal system in Europe to see like how bad it was. It wasn't good. I'll put it that way. You either had it or you didn't. If you didn't have it, it was a problem. That's actually one of the reasons why, and a completely weird topic point to that, is why you had such incest and breeding amongst the nobles in Europe, because you're not going to marry a commoner. So you had the haves and the have-nots. Like if we took away the ability for government to print money, if you really think about what would happen society-wise, culturally, this is why, and you look at the way other governments are functioning, I don't think it'll ever go away. So when people talk to me about the national debt, yeah, we need a balanced budget. We need the ability to not be so insane with our spending. But when you look at like other countries and how they go about this, the ones that honor God do pretty good. The ones that don't, you've got these oppressive regimes. And sometimes, I don't know, like some of the countries over in the Middle East, like Abu Dhabi, they got people flying around in rockets. That's kind of cool. But I mean, it's you can't just like topple the entire financial system overnight. So when you see these things that like talk about this, yeah, I'm concerned about my children's ability to pay for runaway debt. So we need, Elon Musk is right to a degree. You do need to fix that. You do need to like rein that in. But at some point, you also need to recognize that maybe we do need the homeless shelter. Maybe we do need to have something like Medicare. Because imagine like my neighbor, when I lived in Granville, he had a stent put in. He had like one of those little rings they put in that widen your arteries. He had 3 of them put in. He showed me the bill. And it was like $980,000, but his Medicare covered it down to $27,000. That's a crazy, and I know there's an entire discussion about the insurance industry. I know that's a whole different topic, but because like before the insurance, it wasn't like that.
Now is House Budget Committee Chairman, Texas Congressman
Stop
Joe
it.
Arrington.
Stop it.
Chairman, great to have you on the show.
What are you doing?
I'm playing something.
You and I are going to agree all
There it
day
is.
long
Fox
that our
News,
national
stop. No, bad
Why
Fox.
would you do that?
I don't know why you did that.
You're going to get us sued.
Bad Fox News, no cookie. No, that derailed me too. But like, you can't think about that for a minute. It's $27,000 is still a lot of money.
That's a hell of a lot of money.
That's like a car.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to live. That's important. I think that's important.
Yeah, you're alive. That's.
But
it's hard to put a price on still being alive, right?
what if the Medicare thing wasn't there? How would he come up with that?
Medicare, Medicaid,
like $980,000. What are you gonna do? He was a teacher his whole life. He worked 46 years.
Well, I don't think it would be $900,000 at that point.
It'd be like, hey, give me your children.
I think it would be the end of the insurance industry, and there would be reform for healthcare, not socialized healthcare, because everybody from Canada can't be wrong, right? But
They'll come here for their surgeries. I was like, let's do what Canada does. Like, no.
But I think we would find that healthcare would get cheaper. That's a hard one because there's still the capitalists. You'd have to pit hospitals against each other, right?
Can you imagine that when you're talking about like, a bypass surgery?
Like competition.
Or like cancer treatment. Really? I don't think I want that kind of. I don't know. I would rather them work together to fix the problem.
Yeah, I want them too.
Razor Core says we're very good at putting a price on still being alive. Yeah, we actually are. They have life insurance and all this stuff to tell you how much your stuff is worth. It's I think that there's a lot of doom and gloom. They're getting married. Gloom around the national debt, but I think you need to zoom out and prospectively see what's actually happening across the world. If we can somehow balance our budget beyond what this is, $1 and
that's
$1.33.
a big number right there.
So that's a huge number.
But there are a lot of programs that we probably could cut. Right, Minnesota?
Ouch. Ouch.
Omar Ilham. What's her name? Ilham?
Yeah. This is, it's a problem, but we can maybe.
It's fixable.
Fixable. Said no politician ever.
Well, they said it. They just don't mean it.
When they actually see what it would take, they're like, oh, no, not doing that.
Over probably the next 50 years.
It would take a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
If we had it now where we didn't have this national debt, our country would be much better off. I think daycare would be more affordable. You'd have a lot more grants for a lot of the companies that need it. You wouldn't see all this social justice signaling. That's probably the worst part I have. When I look at these numbers and I look at like all the virtue signaling taking place, like why are we funding this? Why are we funding research on like breeding habits of like animals in Africa? Shouldn't shouldn't a pharmaceutical company be doing that if they're trying to figure out some cure? Why are we funding this? Why? Well, they don't want to do it. Okay, when I look at their profits, they're like one of the most profitable countries on the planet. Like we can't have them do it. It's so, sometimes it's really backwards. And other things you see is like that whole transgender thing that we were looking at there for children. Why are we funding this publicly for children to like destroy women's rights? Like that's not. This is where politics needs to get back to like normal, like common sense. Use logic, not emotion. But it doesn't. So while that continues, this is what happens with our national debt. It's just like, no, let's kick the can down the road so that we can feel better about today and make everybody else pay, including us as we get older tomorrow. It's so stupid, but it just keeps snowballing. And there's my Tom moment.
All right.
Brian's like, I don't know what to say to that.
It is stupid. Like, I never understood why the national debt should keep going up. I really go back to Warren Buffett's conversation where he said we could fix this easily by making term limits predicated on the budget being balanced.
Yeah,
and if they don't balance, then they're out. We get whole new people.
I like that. Why aren't we doing that?
Like, it would be balanced.
Like, that's a great idea. He's retired now, but seriously, do it. It's politics. So those things, if you're looking at our debt, the government's got to print bonds. Businesses do the same thing in the stock market. They issue shares. We have a problem. If nobody buys those bonds and nobody buys that debt, the rate goes up. Or at least there's not enough interest in buying it. Here's the funny thing, though, is this article that was posted earlier this week, and I looked at it 2 days ago, since then, interest came back and people are buying government debt. So it's like this thing does this all the time. So if you want to know whether or not the economy or the stocks are going to crash, take a look at the short-term yield on bonds and long-term rates. When the short-term rates exceed the long-term rates, we have a problem. They call that a yield inversion. There's other things that you can pay attention to, but at some point, if we do not fix our spending problem, this is Tom's crystal ball, if we do not fix our spending problem, where that just keeps going, where 40 trillion is going to 60 trillion, 100 trillion, whatever. At some point, other countries and most investors are not going to just like say, oh, I think I'll buy a bond at 1% interest. Nobody's going to do that. We have a problem. We issue debt. Nobody's going to buy it. Then we have a huge cost and inflation problem. At that point, that's when prices become a problem, and that's when the stock market becomes an issue. This is why we're talking about it, and this is why we keep revisiting this topic over and over and over again. Do I see for the short term that this is going to actually happen? I think the United States is going to be just fine. I don't think doom and gloom is the only perspective you should have in the market, even though I talk to people about apocalypses and that all happening, the market crashing, and Tom Broken Clock is right twice a day. I still think that it's a bad idea to not buy American or buy stocks, because where else are you going to go? Like, seriously, where would you go? What stock exchange, what market, what country could you go to that isn't facing a demographic or a political crisis or is highly oppressive? Like, people are like, oh, let's look at China. Have you ever been to China? Do you know what it's like?
Well, when most people say that, it's not China or even Japan that they go to. It's Europe. It's UK, France, Spain. It's those kind of, because it's close to our society.
But they don't see the 52% youth unemployment rate. Like, they don't see that, like, part
or
of
the Muslim takeover of London, or the parliament that's failing because of it's being infiltrated, as well as our government.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that are not as good about France or England. I still say U.S. is the best country in the world, and I'm biased because I live here. And yes, I may have a white privilege and have done well
Check
for
your
myself.
privilege, Brian.
Checking it at the door, baby.
I hate it when people do that. That's such a racist thing to say.
I
but
know.
anyways.
But you know what? It's worked for me, and it's not because I was just given things. I had to work for everything I had. Mm-hmm. I didn't just drop into my life. So there's a lot of things that you can do if you work for it in America, regardless of what race you are.
I always told people that as a investor, it was easier for me to teach a McDonald's employee how to become a millionaire through investments in stocks than it was a doctor.
And here's the thing, you could do that no matter who you are. Mm-hmm. The stock market doesn't care who you are, as long as if you have money. That's all they care about. You have money to invest.
Give me your money.
Give me it. We're going to take it from you, or we're going to help you.
I think I'm trying to go somewhere with this. I'm trying to think of where it is. But this, like, the person who inflates their lifestyle unrealistically is usually the doctor. The person working at McDonald's is probably trying to get themselves through college, or just like survive, or maybe they're just not a very employable person to begin with. Now, I will say that I've seen McDonald's start paying their people pretty decently. Yep. So maybe that flipped, the pendulum's going the other way. I don't know.
It's all kind of go up to $15 an hour. Like, there's this because they were talking about this a while ago, making minimum wage $15 an hour. It's what, $7.75 or something, right?
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
But
how can you live on that?
Like, a lot of companies have already just done it on them, taken it upon themselves to make their minimum wage $15, like Amazon and a bunch of others. Like, I mean, my daughter had a little pizza shop, started making $18 an hour, just as a 20-year-old. So there's a lot of places you could go that pay well beyond the $7.75.
Right, and that's due to competition. So, like, if the U.S. government can't get buyers for their debt, and we start seeing this inflation and all these other problems that would, like, cascade from that, those little $17, like, that would create a bigger problem, because companies can't just magically say, oh yeah, I'm going to pay you $36 an hour instead of the 18 that you made before. Like, they can't afford that, or 19 that you made before. Like, it's not possible for that to keep up. So in this case, I'm less worried about the debt. I'm more worried about our ability to balance the budget and what we're spending that money on. That's where the problem comes in. Because when you look at what the government just randomly decides to fund, some of the stuff is like, the Doge had a good point. Like, why are we funding this stuff? We should not be funding this stuff. Because at some point, some debt's okay. If you're a business, you're trying to grow and you want to raise capital, you issue shares, you raise capital, the business does well. You can buy back those shares, or you can grow the stock and grow the company, and everybody does well. Debt's not always bad. You can use debt to grow. There's a lot of people who will tell you, like, look, if you understand how finance works, you use debt as leverage, you can grow with it, you can become a millionaire that way. Yes, that's very true. Look at how Trump became, like, real estate tycoon. There's a whole lawsuit thing about how much they thought his properties were worth.
I think that's settled now.
Everybody who ever was in real estate does that. Everybody says my car is worth more than like what the next guy is. Essentially, with our spending and with the stock market, you need that ability to negotiate.
Yeah, you think your stock is worth this. Somebody wants to buy it at a lower price. You have to negotiate. You're either going to find a middle ground or pay sell what they want to pay it for, right? So, and the chat has gone into zombie apocalypse.
What do you want? You want me to talk about zombies?
We're having a zombie discussion. But what came out of that is what would happen to the national debt if the apocalypse wipes out 90% of the population. And this is kind of like there's a show called The Last Ship on Netflix.
Oh, we're at the very end, the battle cruiser faces off with them. I'm not gonna.
No, it's just a battleship that finds the cure for the plague that wipes off 5 billion people or whatever it is. So.
Just so you know, in the last season, the last episode, the ship sinks. The guy may or may not live. I'm not telling you.
He already died.
I'm not going to spoil it.
You're watching the wrong show, man.
No, I'm watching the right one because, like, the Russians attack them with helicopters and snowmobiles, like in the first couple episodes. As she's like trying to get the samples because they wanted the cure and the Russian government fell apart. See, I do watch more than Phone with Dick.
He didn't watch it. That's all part of when you hover over it and Netflix. That's the preview.
He lies. I did too. I watched every single episode with my children.
Yeah.
It was actually more of a secret longing where I highlight that and I skim through it because, like, boy, this would be fun to watch.
I'll watch it someday.
And then my son's like, hey, what's that? Oh,
Bluey.
looks like we're watching Bluey.
Damn.
Yay, Spidey.
That will eventually end.
I actually do like Spidey. It's kind of fun.
So what would happen to the national debt? There would be a
there'd be a Detroit like
there'd be
problem.
no national debt.
there'd be a problem. If you look at Detroit, they're making a lot of those defunct properties gardens now. Detroit's going to be like this utopia in 20 years.
Gentrifying it. You don't have a national debt if you don't have a national.
That's
for that debt.
Think about 90% of the population.
Yeah.
How do you brain that? Like so we did dividend dues with like my guinea pig. There'd be like a little guinea pig rolling across. Like there'd be no people because we'd both be gone. So what do you do? Here's your investment opinion. Squeak, squeak, squeak.
No, I think we go back to the bartering system. At that point,
would it fall apart though? So if we took 400 million people and we brought it down to 40? What was the population? So let's pull on this thread a little bit. Because this labor share, there was an article we had that talked about labor share of the economic pie plummet on that same note, because labor share in apocalypse would go down to even worse than this. But let's pull on that thread and then we'll come back to this. So what was the U.S. population? Okay, let's do, what do you want, 1860? 2022, 1950? Pick a number. 1, 5, 4, 6, 13.
Let's do
34. 42. That's a sexy number.
Let's do 1900.
1900. So it was still more than
it was still 40. More.
It was still more. We got to go back further. Okay, so let's say
1850.
1850. All right. Oh no, we're too early. Okay, 18. That's actually
1875.
When my wife's parents' house is about built. We're bidding on population
without going over. We're close.
Okay, so I think the answer to your question is found. I'm going to see 1872. We're going to get to 40 million. We're going to get this.
1870.
71. Not tracked. Oh, don't give me that. 1870.
Oh.
No, it's somewhere in 1872.
71, 72.
So there was a cartoon. She rides a pony. Spirit. That's the name of the cartoon. And it takes place in the late 1800s with the railroad barons and all that. I think our society would go back to that. Or we'd have a lot of robotic drones that do everything for us. And
with technology. It depends on what. If it happens tomorrow, I think infrastructure stops. You're going to lose electricity in places because there's not enough people to keep the power stations going.
Actually, there's hardly anybody that runs them now.
Like water.
It's all remote.
According to all the shows that have apocalyptic endings, it seems like the power stations can last like a year or two just going on their own.
Especially the zombie ones, and you get the big zombie that tears them all apart, like somehow 3 months into it.
Yeah, it depends if it's a virus or if it's a zombie apocalypse. Those are two different things. Like,
I think it's funny how they can go to the grocery stores for months afterwards. Like, oh yeah, I'll just go get some ice cream from the store. Like, that's not how that works.
No. Like a lot of things will rot, but like there's canned foods.
Campbell's soup. I'm telling you, that's
Campbell's
a good
soup.
stock.
All the things with lots of preservatives. Won't be the healthiest diet, but it'll still be alive.
And that CTO will be, or vice president of technology, will be like, see, I told you it's all poor people.
It was, yeah.
As he disappears because the guy snapped his. Who's the guy that did that snap? He had the gauntlet, Avengers, the one that like Iron Man stopped and died. Big purple alien dude. He fought the Hulk and won. Age of Ultron, Infinity Wars. Yeah, who was the big bad guy? Thanos. Even Thanos wasn't so evil as to kill 90% of the population. Come on, guys.
He was only doing half.
It was only half, see? I can't do apocalyptic scenarios in 90% when Thanos only did 50. What do you want me to be? Like, I'm worse than Thanos now?
Yeah.
What?
I think one of the biggest things is keeping the nuclear power plants going or shut them down cleanly so they don't all explode.
Oh yeah, there's the 100 series or the
100.
Yeah, they fell from the space station or whatever.
I saw that.
Yeah, we saw the part where they went off planet and they had that little thing where the guy's like, "Oh, it's not coming back," and then the kids got old enough to understand what was happening, and it's like, "Okay, can't watch this anymore." That's kind of the last thing that we saw before it fell into Ponyland. The most troubling part of the
Walking Dead was that all the lawns were still mowed when they entered a lawn.
Oh yeah,
a town. Well, you know what? The Walking Dead, those zombies, they actually do retain certain aspects of their life. So some of them would actually, keep mowing the lawn because I'm making that up.
Where did they get the gas?
I don't know.
How do you get the gas?
You get it from all the automobiles that aren't being used.
But that only lasts like 6 months unless you treat it. I'm pretty sure the Subaru Forester lady wasn't like, I think I'll need to treat my gas before I become a zombie today.
That and like there came a time in The Walking Dead, if you watched it, that like the zombies were no longer a problem. It's just other people who were really the problem. Just once in a while there'd be like a zombie horde that would take over things, but like they weren't afraid of zombies anymore.
Why does that always happen? Like in the zombie shows, they have to the zombies in the first season are always the worst thing you see.
Yeah.
And then by season 2, they almost don't even exist. Like they're still there. It's like, go away, Fred.
Now it's a human nature show. And it's not us against zombies. It's like they're still around. You just don't see them as much. There were entire episodes of The Walking Dead where you didn't see a zombie at all.
I would buy a house in the lake. Again, and then I would be mad about the geese because they poop everywhere.
Those darn geese. Kill them all. Oh, they're protected.
I had them. Well, they wouldn't be with 40 million people in the apocalypse. I'd be just like, no, I got food.
They'd be food, yeah.
That's how I would survive, off of geese poop and food. Because it's good fertilizer. Just don't step on it because it never dries.
You'd have to chew it up and mulch it into the yard.
Somewhere there's this video of me with a big broom chasing geese around the backyard of my house in Granville. It's gonna surface somewhere where this thing is hissing at me and flying away. Like, get out, stop pooping in my yard. But no, I would win because in the zombie apocalypse I could actually legitimately do something about it where I can't right now. And I don't have geese, I have deer now. We have deer problems. Is the world on fire?
World's on fire.
Oh. Fun. We have one more thing. There you go. Here's your PE ratio. I like the PE ratio. That's what we got. Check this out. The Shiller price to earnings ratio for the S&P 500.
Buffett loves this one.
He does. I like it too. Because I try to aspire to be a Warren Buffett wannabe. I mean, actually like him. So this Wall Street crash, I do talk to my wife about having another wife. She just says no. So whatever. Can't win. So the Wall Street crash, the dot-com bubble, and we are pretty close. We're up to 40. What does this mean? It just means stocks are expensive. And that's what we've been finding too in our own purchases. When the stock market crashes, I get really excited by it. It's like, hey, this is great. It's an opportunity because I'm not worried about my income, thankfully.
This is great. A lot of people lost all their money and they're killing themselves. But this is great for me.
That's not what I meant.
I know.
Maybe. Probably. No, I don't want that. But this is like, when the stocks go down, they're relatively cheap. It's easy to find stuff. When things get expensive, this is why I lament over how do you know? Now, I think the national debt at 40 trillion plays a part in this. So take that with a grain of salt as you see this stuff. But basically, it's the canary in the coal mine, according to this article, and I actually agree with that. Anytime you see the market get expensive, you can pretty much predict the crash. So we had, except for here, like here's expensive. Oh, there's the dot-com bubble crash, and then there's a real estate crash, and you can see the pandemic crash. Now we're back up to it again. Does that necessarily mean that that's where we're at? Well,
how high can it get before it crashes?
I don't think it can go much further, honestly, because the price relative to the earnings, when you think about what the actual PE ratio measures, it doesn't measure like, oh yeah, because inflation happened, it's just magically more expensive. The PE ratio actually relates to how much something costs relative to what they're taking home. Now, granted, they will take home more because the dollar's worth less today than it was, in 2000 during the dot-com bubble. But at the same time, we have this very good indication that stocks are expensive. So when the stocks go up like this, it becomes very hard for me to pick something that might be a good opportunity for everybody. When the stock market crashes, I get super greedy because finally I can find things that are good quality companies at a good price. And that's hard to do when things are all skewed out of place right now.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the problem is when a crash happens, it's a bad thing for people, and the economy suffers. People lose jobs, and if you lose your job, you don't have money to put back into the market to take advantage of this. It's really the millionaires and billionaires that benefit the most because they have the money to withstand the crash. The average person doesn't. They're just trying to get enough food at that point to eat, let alone invest into something where they can make millions later on.
Or like Harvard here.
Or Harvard. Well, Harvard's got $55 billion in their endowment, so $2.2 billion is just drop in the bucket for them.
Isn't that crazy? Think about like how much money they throw around.
And yeah, tuition is so much.
Oh no, something went wrong. There's probably a paywall. I can try to refresh this, but I don't think it'll work.
Got paywalled. There you go.
So read more. No, don't play. Don't do what you did before.
Don't touch it.
There, I muted it just in case it
plays.
plays.
Figure off that.
So,
swear to God,
when we talk,
I will pummel you.
He will pummel. I don't know what pummel is. I will pummel you.
I will beat you about the head and shoulders.
It'd be a good back rub. I could use one. So the Harvard's investment arm disclosed $2.2 billion stake in SpaceX. This is something else I want people to realize. Sure, the debt's a problem, but major institutions, major educational facilities, businesses themselves, the U.S. government, these people that are saying, hey, SpaceX, I believe in what you're doing, or I want a part in what you're doing, they will give these companies money to profit. And by the way, every time you get paid, I've said this a bazillion times, the money goes into your 401k, which probably has a stake in these businesses too. So if you have a 401k, you are betting against the very machine, or betting with the very machine that you're like chastising. Can I say that right? I say that right.
Sure.
So
I wasn't listening. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what
I was talking to chat.
That's what almost people ever says. So the point is that, like, yeah, debt's a problem, but at the same time, where else are you going to go? Kind of like the apostles when Jesus was telling them, was like, where else are we going to go? You're the truth. Like in this case, the United States, what other economies are you going to buy? You got BRICS. Okay, fine. But look at what's going on culturally with those countries and look what actually happens to your money. Have fun with that. So Brian is right. I do think the United States is the greatest country in the world right now. Are we going to stay that way? I don't know. It depends if we can rein in our spending. Every country failed when they became too promiscuous and too cost heavy. We're not. Hopefully, we don't increase the dole. And this isn't Constantinople. But here we go with Harvard spending tons of money on SpaceX. And SpaceX, sure, the stock dropped, but we've got major institutions that educate people to go work for these companies, and SpaceX is actually doing something very valuable. They're producing satellites in space. They're putting them up there so we can talk to you right now. There's a bunch of other things they're doing. So, you know, am I in a position to think that, like, if the market crashes, you should jump out of every single stock that you own? If they're a large institutional company that's being, like, funded through institutional holdings, this is one thing I would recommend people look at. Let's take a look at SpaceX. Let's go look at them. Let's see institutionally how many people actually own this company. So when you go and you look at SpaceX, sure, they've had a bad run. Shares held by institutions, half of the money that they have, just under that, is held by institutions. So think about that for a minute. That's your 401k. It's my 401k. It's Brian's 401k. You're not going to replace a system like that by rebelling against it and saying, defund this and let's go do these other things, because the very institution that you're fighting keeps you employed. The country has a spending problem. It does not have an investment or a growth problem yet. We might, but robots will take over.
And then you've already heard my prediction on the whole robots taking over thing.
And you need to tip them, apparently.
Eventually, you won't have to.
And then they rebel, and then we have a real problem.
Because they're going to make everything for us, and then you won't have to work, and money will no longer be a problem at that point, so there'll be no tipping.
Utopia, Brian.
Well, the caveat is as long as they choose to keep helping us.
You know, that reminds me of the movie Bad Guys 2, where the little gerbil hamster guy's in the prison. He's just like, I love it when everything goes according to plan. He just starts laughing maniacally because he's all buff and stuff. And that, it just
sounds like Hannibal from the A-Team. I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah, it seems kind of like that, because Brian is going to be worth billions of dollars in that environment. He'll just be like, you know what? I'm going to my private island. Bye. I'm going to hang out with my Mark Zuckerberg friends.
Why not?
See? Why not? He just said it. It's true. I'm going to be all alone.
You can come visit.
How? I won't be able to afford it. 90% of the population, according to chat's been killed by a zombie apocalypse.
Which would probably be part of you.
See?
Is it zombie apocalypse, or we never did say?
Knowing my luck, I'll probably be the last guy alive in my neighborhood. Guys, hello?
You'd be having to kill all your neighbors.
Brian's going to, like, watch me, and I'll be the one guy with a tractor driving down the street with spikes on the sides. Like,
He's just picking them up and
going to the beach with my family.
Just putting these somewhere, burning them, building a big old bonfire.
You want some zombie ice cream?
No.
Why are we talking about zombies?
Ice cream.
I
don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. So we have to rate somebody.
The water engine. That's one way to get views. Has all the FBI enter the chat?
Are they here yet? No, please don't audit me. I'm not ready yet. No,
the chat did go up by 7 viewers. FBI's coming for us in our water engine. I've just been chatting with chat.
Yeah.
We're having our own conversation.
Who talks about stocks and zombie apocalypses? I mean, seriously.
Well, we've been talking about that since like day one, the zombie apocalypse. Come on.
Yeah, that's how I feel about my personal business and investment decisions. We're all going to die.
Just waiting for the...
That's my motivational speeches every week during our all company meeting. This is what happens when everything falls apart and we die. And on that note, let's get to work, everybody. Have a great week.
It's pretty much like that.
Yep. Actually, he's right.
We're doing great. We're making money, but that could end all tomorrow.
Exactly. This is why I'm such a great CEO. I'll make a great Fortune 500 CEO.
If that happens, I will give you a good reference and try and get you a job somewhere else. But I'm going to be fine.
So what? Good Lord. You guys are all screwed.
I'm just going to live off my dividends.
That's right.
But I will give you guys a good reference.
Don't you think it's crazy, though, if you look at like the CEOs that do horribly in the Fortune 500s? I think it's this giant golden parachute of like millions and millions of dollars after they laid off hundreds of thousands of people. It's like, what? In what economic reality does that actually make sense for this to be a thing? But I guess it happens all the time. You can fail and make millions.
Matt said last week you rated a premium only stream. It wouldn't let me in.
That was the intent. You're supposed to watch us on repeat.
Well, we're supposed to do a premium only stream ourselves.
Oh yeah, we are. But we're not anywhere near that. Let me pull
We need
this up.
5 hours of premium only stream.
I don't think I can talk that long. I can talk a long time, but I don't think I can talk that long.
You don't have to do it all in once. We could take the last hour of our 3-hour streams and make that's 4 hours right there.
Yeesh.
But then we'd lose everybody. I don't think anybody out there. Do you guys have premium?
Pay Rumble. Yay. No, see, we made a lot of money. Look at all
that.
Look at our service.
Woo-hoo.
How much our service means to you. I need to change jobs.
I've almost got the 20 shorts though.
So we did a premium one last week that apparently had a problem.
We sent them to a premium.
Yeah. Okay. We got to pick a better one.
That's not premium. It says right in it premium.
Okay. So this is chat. Okay. So that's chat. This is my depressing. I'm gonna jump off a bridge stats.
All right.
There's that.
It is. That's what we want.
Okay. Do we want? Yeah. See, this guy gets it.
That's Crowder.
Louder with Crowder.
Louder with Crowder.
I've never watched him. He's not live right now. See that?
Nope.
Let's do live. Let's click on live.
Click on live.
You guys got to tell us what you want to see.
Oh, he's premium anyway.
Oh yes. Playing Hogwarts Legacy.
That's a game.
Let's do that for investment people.
War Watch.
Go over well. That's funny. Here. All right.
Live from around the world.
Thank you for looking XYL through, and thank you for a fun afternoon. Yeah, you're welcome. I got to figure something out between this week and next week, though. Otherwise, we're not going to have a like an update on the portfolio. I have 1 week.
And Spartacus will figure out how to do single stocks somehow.
Yeah, I wish
if you're still out there listening.
Probably nerd rage and said, screw these guys.
He got mad that I said that America was the best place in the world.
The Jason Artie story is deeper than it seems. Who's that? Oh, that's Russell Brand.
Oh, that's Russell Brand, yeah.
Do we want to raid him?
Can.
We want to raid Dr. Disrespect.
Oh, Dr. Disrespect.
That's a gaming guy.
He plays games, yeah.
Okay, let's do this guy.
Russell. He won't say anything about us, though.
He doesn't care about us tiny people.
He doesn't.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Ready? Ready? Nope, it failed.
Hang on. There.
Oh, wait. No.
Confirm.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Yes.
Happy investing. See you next week.